Arrives. Yeah, this is case number 218 on the calendar in the matter of Jones versus Mueller.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Mr. Jones, do you believe that the defendant is responsible for damage done to your car by an unknown person?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
That was near his home?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm all ears.
Well, I attended the party. I was invited.
You attended what party?
Just a high school party, Your Honor.
How old are you?
18.
You attended a high school party where?
At Kim's house.
Who's Kim?
Joseph's daughter.
That would be you. And where do you know Kim from?
I personally don't know Kim.
That's the answer, so you don't know her?
No, ma'am.
And on what date was this party you attended?
November 28th.
Who did you go to the party with?
One of her friends, Chelsea.
So you were not invited to the party by Kim?
No, Your Honor.
What time did you get to the party?
I would have to say around 10 p.m.
Where were you before?
I went to Corey Schaefer's house. He's one of my best friends.
What time did you get to Corey's house?
I would have to say 9:30.
Who did you get there with?
It was just me, Your Honor.
And where was Chelsea?
Chelsea was with my friend Travis, and that's a close friend.
I didn't hear anything about Travis. I heard you going to your friend's house.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I drove over in my car to pick up Corey to meet up with Travis and Chelsea in Travis's car.
Your name is?
Corey Schaefer.
See this young lady over here? She's going to raise her hand. Do you know her?
I do not, Your Honor.
So you don't know the person whose home you attended a party at. Is that right?
That is correct.
And neither did Mr. Jones, correct?
I believe so.
He didn't know her either, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, keep going.
So when I got to the party, there was drinking and underage drinking.
Was that a surprise to you, Mr. Jones?
It was not a surprise.
So it was not a surprise.
But the amount of people there, underage drinking, was a surprise.
How many people were there?
The basement was literally shoulder to shoulder packed. I would say about 30 people in the basement and about 10, 15 more outside.
And you got there about 10 p.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it accurate, sir, that you got there about 10 o'clock?
Yes, ma'am.
What time did you leave?
We probably left the party no more than 5-10 minutes after we arrived there.
Who did you speak to when you were there, Corey?
I spoke to Austin, and then we also spoke to our friend Travis, who was with Chelsea.
So just the people that you came with?
Yes. And
did you speak to anybody else?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who?
As we were leaving, I saw some friends of my ex-girlfriend's.
Names?
I don't really know their name. I did not know them personally, Your Honor.
You saw some friends of your ex-girlfriend?
Yeah, my ex-girlfriend.
How long had she been your ex-girlfriend?
For a couple months.
And I assume that this breakup was not a happy one?
Well, we remained friends. We were not enemies. We were still friends to this day, Your Honor.
So you saw friends of your ex-girlfriend who they were not angry with you?
No, we had
great.
a leisurely conversation.
No confrontation?
No conversation.
Great.
No confrontation.
And did you spend any time with them?
Not very long, just a couple minutes, just
Good.
saying it.
And where were they when you were spending some time with them?
They were outside on the back patio, kind of. Like right when you walk out the basement doors, they were sitting right there.
Tell me about the conversation.
They're into cars, as am I. So
You were in what?
into cars, like we're interested in cars.
You weren't in your cars,
No.
you were into cars.
Into cars, the interest. And
So what was the conversation about?
they asked me if I still have my car. I talked to them, I'm like, yeah, I do. Just talking about it, asked what I had done to it.
And where was Mr. Jones at the time you were speaking to these friends?
I believe he was talking to Chelsea about us getting out of here because we were uncomfortable.
What do you mean
being
you
there.
believe? Was he outside or inside?
He was outside. We both walked out together, but he kind of walked away from me as I started talking to these people.
So you were outside commiserating, and as far as you knew, Mr. Jones was outside also.
Yes, ma'am.
Keep going.
And then after that few minutes, we just walked to his car,
Walk to whose car?
to Austin Jones' car.
Okay, so you walked his car.
Yes.
And how many people were outside?
About 15.
15.
Not exact number, but around. About.
Anybody say anything to you?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so nobody was angry, nobody was this. You got into your car. What happened when you got into your car?
There was too much traffic on the street that they lived on. We were facing down the hill, parked down the hill towards the cul-de-sac. So we entered the car, we drove down to the cul-de-sac, turned around, and then as we were coming back up, as we got parallel to his house, we heard the alarm bang. Then we both, what is that? I look over, I see some activity going on, some rustling, people obviously getting away from the scene, but it was dark, and that's...
And your car was damaged?
Yes, ma'am.
What makes you think that it's the defendant's responsibility?
Well, Your Honor, I actually have a recording from him leaving my mom voicemails, basically saying that he left his 20-something-year-old son in charge. And on the voicemail, he says that his 27-year-old son has no common sense. He, quote, lacks common sense.
You mean that they allowed a party in his house?
Yes.
What does that have to do with your car being damaged?
Why would... He's responsible as the homeowner. If he can't put somebody in charge that he trusts and that will not...
You're taking a giant leap, sir. You're taking a giant leap that somebody who was outside, who was at this party, threw something at your car. There was no confrontation. There was no rowdy behavior outside. Your friends stopped to speak to friends. They had a civilized conversation about a hobby that they both had. You got into your car. As far as I know, you weren't speeding down the cul-de-sac. You weren't burning rubber or honking the horn or anything else that would have instigated any fight, any argument. So then why would a court take a giant leap to say that somebody from this party, for some unknown reason, without a motive or anything, become rowdy, where there was no rowdy behavior outside that you've reported to me, right, Corey?
Yes.
All of a sudden decide to damage your car? Why would I make that leap?
As I'm sure you know, alcohol does affect the mind and lowers your judgment.
Absolutely, alcohol affects the mind. Why would I make a giant leap and say that somebody from his house damaged your car? That's a giant leap, sir. Now, if you had proof that someone that you saw at that party came out of that house and took a rock or took a brick or took something and threw it at your car, you and I would be in business. But we're not in business, Mr. Jones, because you don't know, and there is no suggestion that anybody had a motive to damage your car. You'd never fight with anybody while you were there, according to Corey. There was nobody outside who was misbehaving, otherwise Corey wouldn't have stopped to talk to them about hobbies.
Correct.
And you very quickly, according to Corey, got into your car, had to go just around the cul-de-sac and come back.
The motive, I would say, is being drunk. I mean...
Yeah, well, you don't know that, Mr. Jones. This is a court. This is a court. This is not a guessing game. I am certain, sir, that you were sort of embarrassed for your neighbors that your daughter threw a party. Empty house doesn't equal party. You got that?
Yes.
Now, stand up.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
There was a list made, and he went and got it with this fake ID.
Any of that sound familiar to you?
No, Your Honor, it does not.
Mr. Jones, there are only 2 words that I have to say to you.
And later today...
I live in Collier County, Florida, sir.
I know that.
There must have been something else involved in your suspended license for you to do time in Collier County.
Well
is not an answer.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Austin Jones says his car was vandalized during a party at Joseph Mulich's home. He is suing for the cost to have it repaired.
How much damage was done in your father's house?
There were 2 holes in the ceilings.
2 holes in the ceiling?
Yes.
Nice. What else?
There were cracks on his ceiling in his bedroom.
From what?
When Austin Jones called the police for his car, they arrived at my house, and kids, I guess, were scared because they were underage drinking.
So they made holes in the ceiling?
They got in my attic, and...
So they all ran up to your attic?
Yes.
How does that equate to holes in the ceiling?
They were, I guess, walking around, and they stepped on the drywall and fell through.
Yes, Your Honor.
How much did the damage cost you?
I haven't had it repaired yet because I'm trying to figure out where to claim the damages from.
What do you mean, where?
Well, it took me a couple months of research on Facebook because that's where I was getting, people were giving me names and I was...
You mean the people who were at the party?
Yes.
You think that they're responsible?
No, I think it was a domino effect.
So why did you spend months on Facebook, except that you retired?
Well, because I was out of town. I had everything that I know about the party was... She didn't know the people that were there because a lot of them were there just like Austin.
Yeah, just like he did.
There.
He was an interloper.
Right.
Nobody invited him.
No, the word got out, text messages.
No, I understand. Free house, open house. He shows up, he's not invited. He shows up, he's not invited. Maybe somebody else is invited and decides to bring friends. That he's still being uninvited. That's an uninvited guest. An
interesting side to this is Austin brought the party. Case of beer, Mike's hard cider, and he was observed bringing it into the house.
By whom?
Kayla.
Is that right?
Yes.
Kayla, what's your last name?
Geimer.
What time did you see Mr. Jones get to the party?
It was around 10:15.
You saw him bring something into the party?
Yeah, I seen him bring a case and then 2 Mike Hard Lemonade cases.
And what else?
2 6-packs of Mike Hard Lemonade.
What is that?
An alcoholic beverage.
Any of that sound familiar to you?
No, Your Honor, it does not.
You doesn't sound familiar.
No.
Do you have your fake ID
Shut up!
with you? Sorry.
Do you know what time Mr. Jones and his friends left the party?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Do you know if they left the alcohol or if they took it with them?
I know they brought it for people, but I don't know if they got their own
What do you
alcohol.
mean if they brought it for people?
Like they supplied it for people. Like there was a list made for him to go get it, and people paid him for it, and then he brought it.
Oh, getting better. There was a list.
Yes.
Did you see the list?
Like I knew what was on it
How did you know what was on the list?
because people made it.
People who were already at the party
Yeah.
made a list of what they wanted.
Yes, ma'am.
And somebody must have texted Mr. Jones.
Well, Chelsea, she got the list and she told Austin, and he went and got it with his fake ID.
Love it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You may sit down. Mr. Jones, there are only 2 words that I have to say to you. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Honestly, I'm known in the area for having money. My dad's a doctor.
He's a liar.
Even my own friends are jealous of me.
He drove 2 miles from my house after the alleged damage to call the police.
You know, they mess around with me. Oh, you know, rich kid.
I think him and Corey needed to concoct their story before they called the police.
That's what it was.
And it's unfortunate.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Ross versus Bustillo. Step forward, please.
Danielle Ross is suing her neighbor George Bustillo for the unpaid balance on a car she sold him. George says Danielle misrepresented the condition of the vehicle.
Mr. Bustillo, how old are you, sir?
I'm 29.
How old were you when you got your driver's license?
17.
And how old were you when you got your first car?
17.
Who bought it for you?
My grandmother gave it to me.
Is it an old car?
Yeah.
How long did it last you?
It lasted me a couple of years. 3 or 4
That would
years.
bring you up to 19. A couple is 2.
Okay.
What was your next car?
My mom gave me another car after that, and I had that for about 3 years.
That would bring you up to 22.
Okay.
And then what did you do?
And then my license got suspended, so I didn't have a car for a while.
Why was your license suspended?
Because of child support.
So you didn't pay a child support order.
Yes.
How many children do you have?
I have 2.
When did you get your license back? Don't look over there, Mr. Bustillo. I love building interest.
Okay.
Don't look over there. When did you get your license back, sir?
I got my license back about 2 years after that.
So when you were 24?
Yes.
And how did you get your license back? Did you pay the back child
I had
support?
to pay back child support.
Have you been current in your child support since?
Yes.
Has your license ever been suspended since?
Yes.
Yes. Let's see, smart.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Give me Monica's phone number.
She doesn't have a phone right now.
Oh, Mr. Bustillo.
No, our phone.
There isn't a soul in this country that doesn't have one of those little phones, especially Monica.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Danielle Ross claims neighbor George Bustillo owes for the balance on a car. George says Danielle sold him a lemon.
When was your license suspended again, Mr. Bustillo?
It was suspended.
Don't look there. Look here.
Okay. It got suspended again because I was driving on a suspended license, so I got it habitualized.
So you were driving on the suspended license that was suspended when you were 24?
Yes, and I did time for that, so
You did time for what?
for driving a suspended license.
You mean somebody put you in jail for driving on a suspended license,
Yes.
Mr. Bustillo?
Yes, ma'am.
In what county?
Collier County.
Collier County, Florida.
Yes.
I live in Collier County, Florida, sir.
I know that.
I want to tell you something. There must have been something else involved in your suspended license for you to do time in Collier County.
Well,
Well is not an answer. Mr. Bustillo,
yes, ma'am.
well is not an answer.
I know.
So both you and I know that you didn't do time in Collier County for driving on a suspended license.
Well, it's because it was habitualized. I've been pulled over more than 3 times for driving a suspended license.
So you mean there were 3 times that you were told not to do it, and you kept doing it?
Yes, ma'am.
Now is the question of the day, sir. Do you have a driver's license now?
No.
You never know what, if you scratch the surface, you never know what's going to sniff up.
I'm working on getting my license back, though.
Well, Mr. Bustillo, the question is, what did you buy Miss Ross's car for if you don't have a driver's license? And what were you driving it around? Listen to me, Mr. Bustillo.
I'm listening.
And you drove it around for a while because what you say in defense of this lawsuit, because Miss Ross says, I sold him a car for $2,500. He paid $1,200. He owes $1,300. And your defense is, she didn't tell me that it had as much trouble as it had, and I drove around in it, and I drove it, and this was wrong with it, and that was wrong with it. So she modified the deal and said, forget about it, keep the car, and you don't have to pay me any more money. That's the lawsuit, right? Very easy. That's the lawsuit.
Correct.
Correct. And you don't seem to deny that. You bought the car for $2,500.
Right.
You gave her $1,200. You said you'd give her the other $13 when you had it. You drove the car for a while. You didn't like the way the car ran, and you said, I'm not paying you any more money.
Well,
and what I want to know is what you're doing driving around in a car.
Well, I'm not driving it, though. My girlfriend's driving it. I'm working on getting my hardship license right now, so I wanted to have a car. So when I get my hardship license, my girlfriend's the one that's driving my car around.
What's your girlfriend's name?
Monica Rodriguez.
Where is she now?
In Miami, at home.
Give me Monica's phone number.
She doesn't have a phone right now.
Oh, Mr. Bustillo. Mr. Bustillo.
No, our phone's
There
turned
isn't a soul in this country that doesn't have one of those little phones. Nobody. Especially Monica. Do you understand where we're going, sir?
Yes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com or call 1-888-800-JUDY.
Now, how could you turn title over to him, Miss Ross, if he had no driver's license?
I wrote out a bill of sale for him, and I guess in the state of Florida, you can title over without a license.
Did he title the car in his
As far
name?
as I know, when I called the Department of Motor Vehicles, they said it was not titled in my name anymore. They could not give me any more information than that.
In whose name did you title the car?
In Monica's name.
In Monica's name?
Yeah, because she has a license. I don't.
But
I won't dare drive without a license anymore.
Your Honor, when we did do whatever we did, it was in his name.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Mr. Bustillo is going to get himself into some really serious trouble. But he's not going to get into any serious trouble here. Do you want to know why, Miss Ross?
Why?
Because he acknowledges he made you a deal of $2,500 for the car. He acknowledges it was driven. He's smart enough to try to figure out how to negotiate a system. He's got 2 kids that he didn't support. He lost his license. He drove with a suspended license. We probably drove on it for years, but only got pulled over a few times. He bought your car. He didn't have you prepare a bill of sale for Monica, the lovely damsel Monica in Miami. He had you prepare the bill of sale in his name, and then he stiffed you for the balance.
Correct.
Not here. Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $1,300. Thank you,
Your Honor.
Parties are excused and they step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Yeah, it's case number 93 on the calendar in the matter of Fix versus Woolham.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
Mr. Woolham, who is this young lady?
This is my sister.
Okay. Would you stand up, please? Move over to your brother. Your last name is?
Woolham.
Tell me what relationship you had with Mr. Fix.
We were very good friends for several years.
Just friends?
Just friends.
Did you have a falling out?
Yes.
When?
It was in June of 2009.
Over what?
My roommate and I had some things that we had borrowed from him that he wanted back, and I guess he'd asked her for them back. Were not returned the day
What
he wanted them back.
things?
She borrowed a mattress from him, and then we also had a tuner for our television that he needed back for when he moved into his new house.
And he asked back and you didn't return them?
He asked her back for them, and I don't know what conversation took place there, and they were not returned the same day. The reason we had the falling out was that night, he showed up at our house in the middle of the night, screaming, banging, obviously very drunk, demanding I open the door, calling me every name in the book, demanding I let him in.
Did you borrow the things or did your roommate?
We borrowed the TV tuner together.
What does that mean, together?
And we borrowed it for our TV to use together.
Who asked him to borrow it?
I believe she did.
So she was his friend as well?
She was his friend as well, yes.
And who borrowed the mattress?
She did.
Well, then why would he be angry with you?
He just wanted his things back, and he knew that I was home. He could hear me. My bedroom window was above the front door, and it was open. And I was on the phone. I just found out I was pregnant that day, actually. So I was on the phone with someone, and he said, I can hear you. I know you're there. Come down and open this door right now. And it was the middle of the night. He was obviously belligerent, very drunk. And I said, I'm not opening the door for you. I'm not. If you want your things back, you can come back. I'm going to call the police. You can get your things back with the police.
Did he come and get his things back?
He left. I called the police.
Did he come and get his things back was my question.
Yes, he did.
When?
The next day.
Okay, so he got his things back.
He got his things back.
And since then you haven't spoken?
Have not spoken.
Now sit down.
Thank you.
So this is what your case is about. You met Mr. Woolham, who you evidently knew through his sister, or at a bar.
Right.
And it is your claim that he assaulted you.
Right.
He says he didn't assault you, it's not his fault. You must have fallen when he pushed you because you were drunk, and you shouldn't have been saying bad things about his sister anyway. That's your defense.
Yes, ma'am.
On what date did this incident take place?
March 4th, 2010, around 12:30 a.m.
Where?
At a bar called Mac and Charlie's in Boise, Idaho.
What time did you get to the bar?
About 12:25. I was literally in the bar for about 5 minutes. I had not.
Where had you been before?
I was at another bar. I had 2 drinks in the past 2 hours.
Just a second. Don't volunteer any information. I
Okay.
take you were at another bar.
Right.
Why did you leave the other bar?
Because we heard that it was quarter beer night at this other bar, which was cheaper than the dollar beer night that we were at.
What time had you arrived at the bar?
I arrived at about 11 p.m.
So why don't you tell me what happened, Mr. Fix?
Well, I walked into the bar, almost immediately saw Mike. We were both mutually glad to see each other and gave a big hug. And
how long have you known him?
Since I've known Bobby, a couple years. So we exchanged a big hug, and then I started explaining to him why his sister...
No, you're not explaining. What did you say to him? What did he say to you? Gave him a big hug, and then says, good to see you too.
Yeah.
And then somebody said something about his sister.
Right.
That had to be either you or him.
That was me.
What did you say?
I was explaining to him why...
No, what did you say?
I used the B word. I called her a...
What did you say?
I called her a... I shouldn't have done that. I apologize.
Just a second. I want to know what you said. Tell me what you said.
I was explaining the story about why her and I are no longer friends, which is because her story is that I was there.
No, listen to me.
Okay.
I want you to tell me what you said to the defendant.
Okay.
You hugged, he hugged you, good to see you, and then you just dove right in to telling him a story about his sister.
Right, because we hadn't seen each other for a while. Right.
He didn't ask you about his sister.
Right.
What did you say?
Well, I was explaining the story. I said...
I mean, is there something wrong with you? And if you don't remember, you say, I don't remember.
I do remember. I was telling the story about...
I don't want to hear I was telling the story. I want to hear...
Exactly.
I want to hear exactly what you said to him.
I said that his sister and I are no longer friends, and that it was because over a converter box that I went to her house. I had texted her and her roommate over the converter box for the week prior to the digital conversion. I was moving into a new house, and I wanted a converter box. And I went over, and I got no response from text messages or voicemails or whatever. I went over to her house. It was not in the middle of the day. I was actually on my way home from work, and I was not drunk. I knocked on the door. I got no response. I heard her inside on the phone. I'm like, I hear you on the phone.
Are you telling me the story, or is this what you're telling him?
Telling you.
I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
I want you to tell me what you said to the defendant on March 4th.
I said, you know, we're not friends anymore, and she's a...
That's what you said.
Yeah.
And what happened after you said that to him?
Well, I looked down on the ground, and then as I was looking up, I saw this hook come across me and punch me right in the jaw. I've got a picture of the wound, if you'd like to see it.
I will in a moment. Now I know what he said to you. His sister and I aren't friends anymore, and he used an unpleasant word in describing her.
2 unpleasant words.
2 together.
Yes, ma'am.
And that made you very...
Angry.
Angry. And what did you do?
I said, look, you know, I don't need to hear these things from you. Maybe you should just leave to enjoy myself. No need to get in any problems.
And that's what you want me to believe you said to him?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't.
He called her in a C word. I told him he should leave. and leave me alone.
Why didn't you just walk away?
I don't know.
Keep going.
He then wasn't too happy with me saying that and
He
lunged
wasn't
at
so
me.
happy with you saying what? You're making up a story.
He wasn't happy that I said he should leave and that he should leave me alone. He wasn't happy with my sister. He was drunk, in my opinion. He seemed very drunk, and he lunged at me to push me. And when he did, I then felt I could defend myself, so
Good.
I pushed him back.
Now I got your story, which I don't believe. Can I please see your photographs? Nice punch.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I never did punch him.
This didn't come from a fall.
That's all I know. He could have gotten that from someone else. I hadn't even been drinking, too, so.
Right.
And later today,
All that doesn't sound kosher to me, sir. What you're relaying to me doesn't sound as if it happened. So why don't you retool your answer to me? Retool it and make it truthful. Okay.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jonathan Fick says former friend Mike Willem punched him in the mouth at a bar. Mike claims he only pushed Jonathan. It was after Jonathan pushed him first.
How many stitches did it take to close it? Mr. Fix, let me tell you that he's not allowed to put his hands on you in the way he did. And I don't believe his story. I believe he got very angry when you cursed at his sister. He came up, he gave you a hug. That's what you told me. You embraced each other. You hadn't seen each other in a long time. And according to you, the first thing that you did was you said to him, not friends with your sister anymore. She's a blank blank.
Right.
His reaction had to have been, especially after a few 25-cent beers, to punch you in the mouth.
Yes.
Not to say, would you please leave? I don't want to be with you anymore. Please leave. That would not be a normal reaction of somebody who's been at a bar for at least an hour and a half drinking and who has somebody calling his sister a series of names that are unpleasant and unkind after he's a little loose. The reaction and the evidence is that he punched you. Now, aside from the fact that the story that he's trying to tell me today was that he punched you in self-defense because you pushed him first. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I never did punch him.
This didn't come from a fall.
That's all I know. He could have gotten that from someone else. I hadn't even been drinking, too, so.
Right. I don't believe you, sir. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. That's all. Step out.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Oh, yeah, he was pretty drunk. He was pretty drunk.
It was very aggressive. He was drunk.
And I had just gotten there. I had 2 beers in me.
He called her a C word.
But I didn't use the C word.
I told him to leave. He felt that that wasn't enough.
I just said the B word.
So he pushed me, and I pushed him back.
And I apologized.
I was drug out.
Yeah, don't call people's sisters a...
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Coleman versus Duns. Step forward, please.
23-year-old Brittany Coleman is suing her former friend, 18-year-old Gideon Duns, for a loan to secure a venue for a fashion show, bank fees, and the cost of a ticket to the show.
How old are you, Miss Coleman?
I'm 23 years old, ma'am.
What do you do for a living?
I actually was taking care of my grandmother as an in-home care provider.
So you're unemployed?
Right now, yes.
Did you go to school?
I do.
What kind of school do you go to?
A community college.
And what are you studying?
I'm studying for medical assisting.
How many credits do you take?
I'm currently enrolled in 9 for the summer.
Who supports you?
Right now, I support myself. I get unemployment for taking care of my grandmother.
You don't get unemployment for taking care of your grandmother?
Well, that's what it was from. My unemployment was from that.
So your grandmother had been paying you to take care of
Yes.
her, and then she fired you?
Not fired me. Someone else, another family member, is now currently taking care of her.
And how long were you taking care of her?
2 years.
Who's taking care of her now?
Her daughter.
That's not your mother?
No.
How much was she paying you?
It was from in-home supportive services, and they were paying...
What does it mean, in-home supportive services?
It's like an agency, a county agency, that pays you to take care of her.
What's wrong with your grandmother?
She has Alzheimer's.
So an agency paid by the government pays your grandmother?
Yes.
Or pays whoever takes care of her?
Yes.
And that's what you were doing?
Yes.
Just getting the whole picture.
Okay.
Which I now have.
Okay.
You still didn't tell me how much you were receiving from this agency for
It was $11.34 an hour.
How much a week?
It was about $1,400, $1,500 every 2 weeks.
Tell me about this alleged loan that you made to the defendant for a fashion show.
The defendant was a friend of mine, and he called me. He said he was having a fashion show in Sacramento, California, where we reside, and he said he was not able to pay for the place where he was having the fashion show, that he was short on ticket sales, and that his sales hadn't gone through, and everybody that was supposed to have bought a ticket had not, and so he was short. So he needed some money to help pay for the venue. So he called me one day and asked me if I had a bank account, and I told him that I did, and I asked why, and he explained to me that he needed me to take out some payday loans to help him pay for the venue. So on the day of September 29th of 2009, I told him that I would, and he said, under the stipulation that he would pay all the loans back by October 29th of 2009, that he would pay all the loans back in full, and that none of the money that was in my account would be removed or taken out, and that I would have nothing to worry about.
Go.
First off, what she is saying, there's some truth in parts of it, but in most part, there is no truth in it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
After you gave him money, which you claim was a loan to get the venue, he charged you $25 for a ticket. Is that what you want me to believe?
Yes.
Yes, I don't.
Okay.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Brittany Coleman says former friend Gideon Duns scammed her on a loan to secure a venue for a fashion show.
Go.
We did not meet till October because we actually met through a mutual friend of ours named Keela.
We met before October.
Don't interrupt him.
Okay.
So we met through a mutual friend, and she found out that I was a fashion designer. And we had similar interests. You know, she said that she wants to be a fashion designer and or an actress. So I said, okay, that sounds good. You know, she asked when was the fashion show, when would it take place? I gave her the dates. I said that yes, you know, it is true that I'm looking for, you know, investors, I guess you can say. And she said, well, since I'm into fashion, you know what I mean, can I help you out with it?
All that doesn't sound, let me tell you something, Mr. Duns, doesn't sound kosher to me, sir. Her story doesn't sound kosher either, but your story, what you're relaying to me, doesn't sound as if it happened. Those words were not expressed by this woman.
Okay.
Okay, so why don't you retool your answer to me?
Retool it, basically.
Retool it and make it truthful.
Okay. Well, what I said is true, you know, because what she's saying that we were already friends and I called her up.
Put your hand down.
Why would I call someone up, Judge, and say...
I don't answer your questions.
Okay.
I don't answer your question.
Okay, well, I'll restate it. I would never call anyone up to say, can you make some payday loans for me when at the time I was unemployed? My mother was taking care of all the expenses for the fashion show. So it sounds very, very untruthful that I would call her up before I didn't even know her and tell her to do this.
Tell me how it came about that she gave you any money. If you don't remember the exact conversation, say to me, I don't remember.
Oh, I do remember it.
Then tell me.
We were at a mutual friend of ours' house, and we were sitting there talking, and she actually introduced us. And we had the conversation that I am a fashion designer, and my friend said, well, tell her about the show that you're putting on. Explain to her about the show. She said that she wanted to help out. So I said, okay, what do you want to do as far as helping out? She said, well, what do you need help with? I said, I need help with the venue and with ticket sales. I gave her a portion of the tickets, and I had a portion of the tickets.
Okay. How many tickets did you give her?
I gave her 250 tickets.
Wow. And how many tickets did you keep?
250.
Do you have any of the tickets?
I have the flyer. The ticket was just a smaller thing like this.
Okay, can I see that, please?
I actually have a copy of the ticket.
I'd like to see it.
Yes.
Okay, and how much money did she give you?
She gave me $800.
And what was the $800 for?
The $800 was to go towards some of the tickets and also the venue.
And when were you supposed to get to a break-even point?
I want to say it was like November 10th was the date that we met back up to see how many tickets we had both sold. She came back.
How many tickets did you sell?
I sold 150 tickets.
And how many tickets did she sell?
None.
Did she still have all the tickets in her possession?
I'm pretty sure she did because we were supposed to come back and see how many tickets she sold after I pushed the date back.
Ms. Coleman, where are the tickets that you had?
He never gave me any tickets, ma'am. He only gave me the one that I purchased, which was $25.
Why would you purchase a ticket from him?
Because he was a friend, and he told me that he was throwing a fashion show. So I was going in support of him.
When did you purchase the ticket? On what date?
I'm not sure of the exact date that I purchased the ticket.
Was it before or after you gave him money?
No, this is after.
After you gave him money?
Yes.
Which you claim was a loan to get the venue.
Yes.
Did him a big favor.
Yes.
He charged you $25 for a ticket. Is that what you want me to believe?
Yes.
Yes, I don't.
Okay.
I don't believe it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com or call 1-888-800-JUDY.
I actually don't believe your whole story. I don't believe his either. I think it was something sort of a mix. Anybody?
The fashion show never actually took place, Judge, because the defendant never came on her part of the bargain. That's why it didn't take place, because this was a business venture that she decided to come up on with me. And when it was time to show face on what happened, on what took place, like where was the ticket sales, she brought nothing to the table. And as I pushed back the date and said, okay, let's meet again and see how many tickets you sold, there was an excuse of there's been a lot going on, so she still sold no tickets. And I understand the money that she's saying, that she came out of pocket for, but let's speak about the money that I came, out of pocket for.
How many investors did you have?
I actually had a total of 4.
Mm-hmm. How much money are you collecting now for unemployment?
I get $1,400 a month.
A month?
Yes.
And you get that because prior to that, you had been paid to take care of your grandmother
Yes.
by a state agency?
Yes.
And how long has your grandmother had Alzheimer's?
About 4 years.
Who took care of her before you?
Her daughter.
Which daughter?
The same one that's taking care of her currently.
And why did she stop?
Because she went off. She returned to school, and she wanted to take some other
And when she took off taking care of your grandmother, I assume she got unemployment as well?
Yes.
Goodbye. I don't believe you. Toodles. Case is dismissed.
Parties are excused.
Judge Judy continues.
All rise. That's case number 235 on the calendar in the matter of Mola versus Nzunza.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Mr. Nzunza, the plaintiff is a police officer, and he gave you 2 tickets, moving violations. On what date?
February 11th, 2010.
It is his complaint that the complaint that you filed against him for rude conduct was unfounded. And while the police department conducted an investigation and found that the allegations were unfounded, that report will remain in his file. And he believes that since you maliciously filed that police report, he should be compensated. That's what your case is about,
Yes,
correct?
ma'am.
Okay. So I'm going to start with you, since it's your report that's really the subject of this litigation. What time were you pulled over by Officer Moeller?
7:35 a.m., Your Honor.
Where were you going?
To work, Your Honor.
And I gather from your answer, sir, that you heard or saw Officer Moeller at some point and did not immediately pull over.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
Yes.
How far did you travel before you pulled over?
Less than half a mile.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you're going to explain to me why you didn't pull over, irrespective of whether he was going to give you a ticket or whether you had done anything wrong. You saw him, and for a half mile, which is quite a distance, you didn't pull over. You want to explain why?
Yes, Your Honor. There have been at least a half a dozen car crashes, including one fatality on Hesperia Road. When I saw his lights behind me, I was in the flow of traffic. He zeroed in on me, and there are various signs along that road that say no parking. I did not feel safe. I just did not think it was appropriate to pull over at that point. I was trying to avoid an accident, and so between 10 and 15 seconds, I ended up pulling over into a parking lot.
What did you get a ticket for?
I was cited for speeding and also failure to yield, Your Honor.
How fast were you going?
Somewhere between 57 and around 62 miles per hour.
And what was the zone?
45, Your Honor.
So there's no question you were speeding.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, I'm going to jump for a moment. You also got a ticket for failing to pull over for an emergency vehicle, which clearly you did. Now, you could have pled guilty and paid both fines by mail. In order for you to appear, you had to plead not guilty.
Correct, Your Honor.
So you pled not guilty, and you appeared in court.
Yes. Can I explain something on that point?
No.
Okay.
When you appeared in court, did you have a hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you found guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
So then I don't have to go into any of the particulars. A court already found you guilty and you paid your fine. On what date did you go to court?
Around July. I'm not sure exactly what the date was.
July of 2010.
Yes, Your Honor.
On what date did you file the complaint that is the subject of this case?
The following day, Your Honor.
So you did not file a formal complaint in February?
I went down to the station, but not formally.
My question is, you did not file a formal complaint in February?
Correct.
March?
Correct.
April?
Correct.
May?
Correct, Your Honor.
June?
Correct.
The entire month of July until after the hearing?
Correct.
That doesn't sound good for you, Mr. Anuza.
Okay.
So far, do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes, I do.
You weren't offended enough to file a formal complaint until after you were found guilty. That would tick me off if I was an officer. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
You understand why?
Yes, I do.
Now, I want you to explain to me what it was between February 2010 and July of 2010 that somehow got you all worked up. You had February, March, April, May, June, and part of July, 6 months. What was it during that 6-month period, sir, that got you all worked up? Just a second. Make sure it's something that I'm going to find credible.
Okay, Your Honor. Well, I'm just going to tell you the truth. The same day after I received the 2 citations, I went down to his superior and spoke to the sergeant, and he received...
Don't tell me what you said to the sergeant.
No, I'm not.
Or what the sergeant said to you.
Okay. But he did hand me the complaint process guidelines and
So
procedures.
you had the complaint process.
Yes.
Go ahead.
All I can say is that, you know, I'm a professional. I'm extremely busy. My boss...
Not an excuse.
Okay.
Now, do you think that if you had been found not guilty or if Officer Moeller failed to appear, you would have gone down and filed a complaint?
Yes.
I want to see the complaint you filed.
Yes, ma'am.
Because actually, this is going to be a very, very simple case for me to do. Why is this dated June 14th, 2010?
That must have been when I turned it in, Your Honor.
No, you crossed out a date and put in June 14th, 2010.
I had been...
There's a date crossed out.
Yes, ma'am. I had begun filling it out prior, and since time had passed by, I decided just to change the date because...
Hey, you told me that you didn't go down and file the complaint until the day after your trial, which is in July. This says June 15th.
I'm mistaken, Your Honor.
What do you mean you're mistaken?
I'm mistaken. My
About
trial,
what?
About the date of the trial. It must have been the day before that, Your Honor.
So it was in June?
Yes, ma'am. I apologize for the inaccuracy on that.
You see, it doesn't have much impact on you, sir, because all you did was go down and file something. It didn't have any impact on your career. It only had an impact on somebody else's career, so the date wasn't that important to you. We are beginning to understand each other, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You tell him you want him to change the color of the car because you say, my car is silver, it's not tan. Who cares? You were being a wise guy, a speeding wise guy.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Deputy Sheriff Brian Mueller says motorist Joseph Nzunza filed a false complaint against him, alleging he was verbally abusive during a traffic stop.
Now, was June 14th a work day or not a work day?
I believe it was a work day, Your Honor.
And you filed this complaint the next day. So did you take a little time off from work the next day to go down and file the complaint?
It just took about 10 minutes. It was during my lunch break.
My question to you was, did you take some time off to go down and file this complaint?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you were too busy February, March, April, May, and up until June 15th to file the complaint. All of a sudden, you find 2 days in which you have some spare time. That's interesting. We're beginning to understand each other, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Somebody else's career is just important as yours. What do you do for a living?
I'm a school psychologist.
Yeah. Your complaint first says that the officer came up, and when you finally did pull over, he was red-faced and he was screaming at you, when I tell you to pull over, you pull over. And you said, okay, that's what I'm trying to do. And he responded, if I don't think it's safe, I will tell you, now pull over. And then you pulled over into a parking lot.
Can I clarify?
Yes.
As I was entering the parking lot of the little country cafe, I pulled into the driveway and stopped because he immediately got next to my car. I rolled down my window and he started screaming his head off.
What did he say?
He said what I had written there, which was pull over.
What did he say?
He said, pull over. When I say stop, you pull over immediately.
Right. And?
Now pull over. And I said, that's what I'm trying to do.
So you answered him back, and he said?
And then you motioned for me to pull over, so I pulled into a spot.
Now he pulls over. Come on, keep talking.
Okay, then I pulled into a parking spot, and then he parks behind me, blocking traffic of the driveway. And then he gets off his motorcycle and walks up to my vehicle.
Correct.
And then he comes into where my window would be, the frame of my door. And his face is in my car almost, and he's in my window and just screaming like a maniac.
No. I want you to tell me what he said.
He continued saying...
No, I want you to tell. So far, he hasn't said anything wrong. When I tell you to pull over, you pull over. And you probably said to him, I didn't think it was safe. And he says, I'll tell you if I don't think it's safe. When I tell you to pull over, you pull over. Perfect. Now tell me what he was saying to you.
He continued yelling.
Say.
Again.
What did he say?
He was saying the same thing. He was saying, pull over. When I said pull over, whenever there's an emergency vehicle behind you, you pull over immediately. I don't care if it's safe. I don't care if it's not. You pull over when I say. And then he stopped.
Just a second. Say that again, what you just said to me.
When there's an emergency vehicle behind you, you pull over. I don't care if it's safe. If it's not safe, I'll tell you to pull over.
No, now you're making it up as you're going along, because that's not what you say in your answer.
If you don't feel it's safe...
That's not what you say in your answer, sir.
He said, I don't care if you don't feel it's safe. I'll tell you when to pull over.
That's not what you even say here, sir.
I'm just trying to recall exactly what I wrote.
Well, you recall it better now, or you recall it better 6 months ago, is my question.
I recalled it better 6 months ago.
You recalled it better 6 months ago, when it was fresh in your mind. That's why you're supposed to file a complaint as soon as it happens, not when you're thinking about it later, when you're making it up as you're going along.
That was a mistake.
What you said was, in a quote, if I don't think it's safe, I will tell you. Now pull over. He didn't say to you, I don't care if it's safe or not.
Okay. I misquoted.
That's a big difference.
Yes, it is.
Well, that's why you're supposed to do things when they're fresh in your mind, not when you're mad because you were found guilty.
Okay.
Now, according to you, after he was finished yelling, he stepped back, took a deep breath, and began to audio tape our conversation. Now, when he began to audio tape your conversation, was he also rude to you?
He continued to be rude.
That's what I want to know. Tell me how he was rude when he was audio taping your conversation.
Well, he refused to change the color of, he wrote that the color of my car was tan, it's silver. He refused to change it to the correct color. And also, because of the way he was yelling and screaming and treating me, I already was thinking about talking to his superior. So I wanted to know his name. So, but it looks like, you can't even read what it says. It says, his name is Moeller, and it looks like it said M-U-F-R-A.
Did it have a shield number on it?
Yes, but I couldn't see it.
You couldn't see it?
I just couldn't, I mean...
Now, officer, all I want you to do is play for me when he starts to argue with you about changing the color of the car and your name. That I want to hear.
If you give me a moment, I'll get to that.
Absolutely.
Pull to the right. Whatever you're gonna write, so I can... Sir, thanks for your patience. Here's your information back. All right, green side unsafe speed for road conditions, 67 and a 45. Locked in on the laser at 253 feet south of where I was at. You're also being cited for failing to yield to an emergency vehicle. Your court date is April 16th at 8:30. Night court is April 1st at 4 o'clock at the Victorville Courthouse. Need you to sign here in the red box. You're signing for the promise to appear. You are not admitting guilt by signing.
Do you want to put the correct color of my car? It's not tan.
Okay, that's fine.
It's pewter or silver.
Okay, you need to sign in the red box, sir.
But the information is not correct.
Okay, you can debate that in court.
Things that are not correct? I mean, does this look tan? I don't know.
In my glasses, it does. Sir, you need to sign in the red box.
What does it say? N-C-U?
Yes, that's my last name. You need to sign in the red box.
Well, I know. Can I read something?
I've explained to you what you're being cited for, so you need to sign in the red box, sir.
M-U-L-E-R?
I'm giving you a lawful order to sign in the red box. If you do not sign in the red box, you're going to go to jail for resisting, delaying, or obstructing an officer. You're going to get a copy of the citation, and you can review the citation. You were explained what you were being cited for. My name is right there. It's M-O-L-E-R. Thanks for your patience. You're free to go.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What I sort of found out here in California, everybody thinks that everybody else has to surround them with their arms and give them a whole bunch of kumbaya and love. I come from Brooklyn. If a cop's giving you a ticket, he doesn't give you a whole lot of loving along with the ticket.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Deputy Sheriff Brian Mueller says motorist Joseph Nzunza filed a false complaint against him after a traffic stop. Joseph is alleging that Deputy Mueller was verbally abusive.
Now,
Your Honor, can I say one thing reference the dates
Yes.
that he's incorrect on? The court case was on June 15th.
Yeah.
Mr. Nzunza filed the complaint. It's down here at the bottom on that same date at 1:47 in the afternoon. So he filed it the same day of the court case. And I have the subpoena here if you'd like to see that.
I would. Mr. Anusa, did you go to court on April 16th?
Yes, I did.
What happened?
I wasn't sure that I was actually guilty of failure to yield because I felt I was just trying to be safe. So I just pled not guilty on that particular citation.
When you went to trial, did you go to trial on the speeding and the failure to yield?
Yes, both, Your Honor.
Both. So you had to have pled not guilty on both.
Yes, yes, you are correct.
Officer Moeller says that you filed the complaint, and he has a copy of it, and it's signed in on the same date that you were found guilty. So it wasn't the next day.
That was inaccurate. It was the same day.
You had a lot of inaccuracies, sir. You're a school psychologist, Mr. Ianus?
Yes, Your Honor.
In what kind of school?
A high school, Your Honor.
You deal with boys and girls?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's assume you were counseling a 14-year-old freshman, and she went home and said to her mother that you inappropriately exposed yourself to her, which wasn't true. And they did an investigation. The investigation was unfounded, that this was a young girl who regularly makes those kinds of accusations if she wants to get out of class, if she wants an excuse for not doing something. You think that that would stay with you for a long time?
Yes, it would.
You think that that might affect the way the school system deals with you?
Definitely.
Even though it was unfounded?
Definitely.
Even though it was unfounded. Now, let's assume that she made that kind of an accusation, and all you did was lean over her shoulder in a very innocent way, put your arm around her and say, don't worry, everything is going to be okay. So she said it was inappropriate. And you had to go through an investigation because she said you inappropriately touched her. Do you understand where we're going, Mr. Iannusa?
Yes, I do.
Sometimes your conduct can affect somebody else's professional career, even though legally and within the workplace it's unfounded. It stays with you because people look at you differently. They view your progress differently. They view your promotion sometimes differently. They said, look, not founded, but you know, where there's smoke, sometimes there's fire. So if we have two choices, if we can promote Iannusi to something or somebody else, why should we get involved with somebody that had this inappropriate complaint, even though it was unfounded? We understanding each other, sir?
Yes, we do.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to JudgeJudy.com or call 1-888-800-JUDY.
Now, what I find fascinating, Mr. Iannusa, is that you had this very well put together complaint that clearly you had had it on the back burner for some time, and you could have filed it at any time.
Yes.
You chose not to file it until after you were convicted. That doesn't sit well with me.
Okay.
You got it?
I do understand, but because it was deemed unfounded doesn't mean that it's not valid. I mean, it's the
not
truth.
valid. He doesn't have to talk to you like your mother. Where do you live?
In Hesperia.
You know, because what I sort of found out here in California, and I'm not from California, everybody thinks that everybody else has to surround them with their arms and give them a whole bunch of kumbaya and love. You know, I come from Brooklyn. If a cop's giving you a ticket, he doesn't give you a whole lot of loving along with the ticket. People out here in California seem to think that everybody's got to love you, including a cop giving you a ticket. I don't understand that. I mean, I think that his tone to you was clip and lacking warmth and empathy, but unprofessional? No way. You tell him you want him to change the color of the car because you say, my car is silver, it's not tan. Who cares? You were being a wise guy. A speeding wise guy. So what do you want from him, Officer Moeller?
Well, Your Honor, I think he should pay the full $5,000. This stays in my file for 7 years. I've been a deputy sheriff for 5 years. 5 years is when we start the promotion process.
Have you ever had a complaint before?
Never.
In 5 years?
In 5 years.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. That's all.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
It's case number 78 on the calendar in the matter of Ellsworth versus Neri Sanchez. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Ellsworth, this young man used to be your boyfriend, and you are Miss Neri, you are his mother.
Yes, ma'am.
According to your complaint, you lived for a period of time with your boyfriend and his mother, and you made each of them a series of loans. His mother at some point told you to leave the house. You left. You want your money. Each of the defendants say that they owe you nothing. Money that you gave Miss Neri was for expenses, your expenses while you lived in the house. And her son, James, says anything that you gave him were gifts because he took care of certain things for you. When did you move in with Miss Neri and her son?
In June of 2004.
And what were you doing at the time?
At the time, I was working for Forever 21.
Now tell me about the first loan you made to Mrs. Neri.
The loan I had made to Mrs. Neri was for $2,000. She said she had needed it for the down payment on the house that we were going to move into. She stated that she had asked her dad to borrow the money, and he had said no, and that I was the last resort, and if I couldn't loan her the money, we would have nowhere to live.
Where had you been living?
I had been living with them in an apartment.
So you all wanted to move someplace else together. Did you sign a lease?
Yes, I did.
On the new place?
On the new place, yes. I was told that I was not going to be a renter on the house, and that the only reason why I needed to sign the paperwork was because I was over 18.
You have a copy of the lease?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it, please. Well, the three of you were clearly on the lease, right?
Yeah.
So you know, I mean, you read this document, didn't you?
I didn't read the whole thing, no.
Why not?
Because she said she needed it signed, and so she stated that,
Miss Ellsworth, you go to school?
Yes.
What school do you go to?
Bakersfield College.
I assume that at least in your spare time when you were younger, you watched a little television?
Yes, I do.
You watched enough courtroom television to know that you're not supposed to sign something that you don't read?
Yes.
So let's not play with each other. So you signed it.
Yes.
And you should have read it. And if you didn't read it, that's not my problem.
Yeah. I did pay rent on the house.
Until you were evicted?
Yes, pretty much.
How much was security and the deposit on this apartment?
I think altogether it was like $1,800. I'm not quite sure.
$1,850?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that money from?
From her, because the reason why we had to move from the apartment is I was at the apartment for over a year already. I came home one day from work, and she was living in my apartment. I told my son, look, this cannot work. You know, I don't want her living here. You know, she has a home. She told me she had nowhere to go because her mom was an abusive mother. So, you know, I kind of felt sorry for her. So the next thing I knew, her dog Louie, she has a little dog Louie, he was tearing up the curtains and everything. So I'm a single mommy. I couldn't just come up with that money just to move. So, you know, I had no choice. I asked my dad, and my dad goes, well, it's your fault. You should have never let her move in. You know, why you have to move, because the reason why we had to move, because she wasn't on the lease. It was breach of contract, they said.
I can understand if you're moving in together, she's on the lease, she should pay a third of $1,850.
Okay, we moved in that home after we got kicked out of the apartment.
Listen to me. You don't have to get kicked out of the apartment. All you have to do is put the two of them out. And you can stay.
Right.
Well, he's not going anywhere without her. You could stay. Put them out.
No, she said we had to move.
Listen to me. $1,850. Only a third of that. She's on the lease. Only a third of that is hers.
Right.
Why did you throw her out?
I didn't throw her out. She was there. Her and my son were always arguing. It got to the point where I'd come out of work and I didn't want to go home anymore. She was possessive with my son, very possessive with my son.
Did you tell her to leave?
I did not tell her she had to leave. She got upset because I came home one day, the place was dirty. I figured if I'm working, in their home, they should at least have the place clean. We got in an argument. My son heard me say, me and my son were arguing. She got up and she left. I didn't verbally say, oh, Aubrey, you have to leave.
She had told me all the time that I had brought sin into her house and that I was bringing chaos and that she didn't want me living there. Her son told me numerous times, I don't have to leave, it's you that has to leave. My mom doesn't want you living here. She threatened to kick him out all the time. She threatened to kick me out all the time just to have in my opinion, a control.
What?
First of all, my mom never kicked her out. Me and Aubrey used to argue a lot. Yeah, we did.
So it's a good thing she left, right?
No, I don't know if it's a good thing
Listen
that
to what
she
I
left.
said. Stop thinking about what you're going to say next
I'm
and start
not.
listening to my question. So it's a good thing that she left.
Yes.
For the sake
Stop.
of argument,
I'm speaking
it was.
to you.
Hey.
Yeah, give him a good one.
Okay.
So it's a good thing that she left.
Yes, but she
And she-
wasn't told to leave.
No, it came to her by mental telepathy, like Karnak, you know. You wanted her to leave, and your mother wanted her to leave.
Honestly, no, I didn't want her to leave. Honestly,
He
no, I
didn't.
didn't.
He was upset and crying. I didn't ask her to leave because she was still on the lease. It was up to, like, I think March. She left on her own. She came out storming, and she left on her own. That's the honest to
All
God
right, you
truth.
got $1,850, Miss Ellsworth. That she has to give you back. I don't believe. How old are you?
In my 30s, late 30s.
30, in my 30s, late 30s.
Yeah.
What kind of an answer is that? How old are you?
39.
She's 18. You're 21 years her senior. She
Right.
doesn't support you. You take care of her. All right. Don't go into little things with me. I'm not interested in little things. What does he owe you for?
He owes me for his truck. I helped him fix his truck. I got him a new tire, which was $76. And then I had helped him fix his truck because he had gotten rear-ended February of 2004. He could not.
February of 2004?
Yes.
Where were you for the last year?
I've been trying to collect it. We didn't get the truck, though, starting to fix until September.
Does that make sense to you?
She didn't give me all the money.
What did she give you?
I paid her half of the money back.
What did she give you is my question.
All she gave me was $150 because I paid $150 of it back to her, so it totaled out to $300. And with my $150 coming back to her, it canceled out. And then I went and paid a couple months of rent for her that she didn't pick up on. And this whole thing, we both assumed that we were just going to break it off even like that. Because, like, I mean, we were living together, and it's like, then when we break up, she goes, oh, well, now you owe me for this and you owe me for that.
Do you want to know something, Mr. Sanchez?
Yeah.
I agree with you. How's that?
I mean, like,
agree with you.
I honestly believe if we were still together.
Just a second. Give it to him good.
I honestly.
Give it to him good. Miss
I
Neary.
honestly-
Miss Neary. Good. Give it to him good. Because he doesn't get it. I just said I agree with you.
Okay.
Stop. No more.
Listen to your mother.
Can I just add one last thing then?
Why do you want to add something? I just said I agree with you.
All
You want
right.
to tell her you love her? You want to get married? You want to propose to her here?
No, I already have
Then just
another
listen to your mother.
girlfriend.
Your mother's telling you to shut up.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
It wasn't my truck.
Listen,
What about
Miss
when
Ellsworth.
You didn't have a car for a while, and I was
Mr.
driving
Sanchez,
you working
you want
back.
you want your mother to slap you upside the head?
And later today,
He was stealing from the casino.
Yes, ma'am.
Nobody forces you to steal, ma'am.
Well, this gentleman here did.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Aubrey Ellsworth says both her ex-boyfriend and his mother owe her money. James Sanchez and Joanne Neary claim Aubrey is controlling and possessive.
When you're in a relationship and you have $100 here and $76 there and $40 there and $50 there, courts don't want to get involved with that if the relationship doesn't work out.
It wasn't my truck.
I don't care whose truck it was. It wasn't my truck.
You drove it.
It was a truck that
Like
you
it was
at least
yours?
rode in. That's what you do when people live together.
Not when it gets impounded. He got it impounded.
Listen, Miss
You didn't
Ellsworth.
have a car for a while, and I was
Mr.
driving
Sanchez,
you working
you
back.
want me to? You want your mother to slap you upside the head?
No.
She's going to do it, right?
Yeah.
Next time he opens his mouth, Miss Neary, give it to him good. You don't have a lawsuit against Mr. Sanchez. Mr. Sanchez and you live together in a monogamous, physical relationship, and I'm certain that during the time that you lived together, you went out to eat, he paid, sometimes you paid, other times you went to a movie, you went to a fair, you went out, he bought you a Frankfurter, he bought you a cup of coffee, you bought him,
I wish
whatever
it were
it
like
is.
that.
Whatever
It's
it
hard
is.
to be like that if you're as jealous as you are. If you weren't so jealous, it could have been better.
No, no, no. Harder!
I have a restraining order on him.
Harder! Judgment for the
Aubrey,
plaintiff,
there's
that
a
is
court-
Miss Neary, in the amount of $1,850. Your lawsuit with regard to Mr. Sanchez is dismissed. That's all.
Excuse me, step out.
He became violent with me, and he started stalking me, following me, going to my job.
As far as harassing and stalking, she was the one writing me letters all day in class and following me and my new girlfriend outside of school.
He wanted to marry me. He wanted to be with me. He It became an obsession that became violent and physical.
She socked me a couple times where I had to call the cops on her and almost have her put in jail.
It got to the point to where my work was saying, I'll put the restraining order on him for you if you don't.
She's mad because I don't want to get back with her and I found a better girl.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Richter versus Falk. Step forward, please.
20-year-old physical therapy technician Levita Richter is suing her former friend, 21-year-old caregiver Adriana Falk, for bail money, a loan to get her car fixed, and the cost of a bridesmaid's dress.
Miss Richter, you and the defendant had been friends, according to the complaint that I read.
Yes, Your Honor.
And there was a point when she was in some difficulty. Did she come to live with you at that point?
Yes, she did, Your Honor.
When was that?
About October.
October of 2004?
Yes.
Who were you living with?
My fiancé.
Who's now your husband?
Yes.
Is that him?
No.
Who was this?
This is my witness.
According to you, there are 2 loans outstanding. And in addition to the 2 loans, you claim that Miss Falk owes you for this bridesmaid's dress. I assume that this is the bridesmaid's dress. She was an attendant at your wedding. They were supposed to pay for their own dresses. You claim she did not pay for hers.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Falk says that both of those times when you gave her the money, it was a gift, and the bridesmaid's dress she says she paid for even though you still have it.
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you go to live with Miss Richter and her fiancé, Miss Falk?
I was having some problems with my mother and needed to get out of the situation that I was in.
Now, when was the first time that she gave you money?
When this guy right over here got me into trouble at my employment, I was taken to jail because of him and his roommates and what they had asked me to do for them. And
well, why don't you explain that to me further?
Okay, I was working at Colusa Casino in Colusa County. And
where is that?
Part of Northern California.
Go ahead.
Me and Mr. Weiser had started dating, and him and his roommates knew obviously that I worked at a casino and asked me if I could possibly give them players cards with instant rewards on them, which is like a credit, and they can go in the casino and play. Well, I told them a number of times I didn't want to do it. I didn't feel comfortable doing it. Now I'm being charged for all 4 of those gentlemen and what they asked me to do.
Just a second. So they asked you to get them these cards, and you said no. So how could you be charged with anything?
Because I did it anyways.
Oh, so you did it. You did something illegal.
Yes, ma'am.
Levita Richter says former friend Adriana Falk owes for bail money, a loan to have her car fixed, and the cost of a bridesmaid's dress.
Explain to me how you did something illegal.
I would go in and add the instant rewards to their cards. That gentleman right there would come in and play his, not only, and all 4 of his
I don't
roommates'
understand the
cards.
instant rewards. What does that mean?
It's just like a credit you can go in and play on slot machines. You can't cash it out. The only thing you cash out is what you win, but you cannot cash out anything on that card.
But you can play with it?
Yeah.
And you knew you were doing, in effect, you were stealing from the casino?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Nobody forces you to steal, madam. That's
well,
not
this
anybody.
gentleman here did.
No, he didn't. No, Miss Falk. That's not true. If I asked Bird to falsify a document for me, and I've known him for a very long time, 25 years?
At least.
At least. I guarantee you, he would not do it for me. And he likes me. And if I asked somebody that I cared about to do something illegal, I would not be angry if they said, no, that's illegal.
Well, they were when I said no.
So then what you say to somebody who's asking you to do something wrong is, I'm sorry. You can be angry, and if you want to not see me anymore, you don't see me anymore. If you want to not be my friend, you don't want to be my boyfriend, whatever it is. But you don't blame somebody else for you're doing something criminal.
There are charges pending on them, but I don't know what they are yet.
Are there charges pending against you?
Yes, there is.
For what?
For second-degree burglary, and it's burglary in the second degree, and then the grand theft as well.
Oh, well, I'm not going to ask you any questions about that because those matters are pending. I'm sorry. You represented by an attorney with regard to that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Stupid. Anyway, you got into trouble and she bailed you out?
Yeah. He was on his way home and he called her and asked her to bail me out of jail.
Who asked her?
I had called Mr. Weiser and told him that I was in jail because he knew that I was going to meet with the security officers at the casino that morning. Then I ended up being arrested after about an hour or 2 of questioning. I was taken into custody and arrested, and I called him. He was the first person that I was able to call, and he called her and asked her to bail me out.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Who called?
The bail bond gentleman called me at work.
Oh, but she didn't call you.
I spoke to her, and she asked me to come bail her out.
When? You said the bail bondsman called.
I talked to her after the bail bonds gentleman called, and I was allowed to talk to her. And she was crying. She said, please come get me out of this place.
You went there and you bailed her out?
Yes.
What arrangements did you make for her to pay you back?
She was to pay me back. She had promised me that she would pay me back because that's just, I wasn't just going to give it to her. I was getting married in a few months, and I didn't have that money to spare.
Well, I want to know what conversation did you have with her with regard to paying you back? Don't tell me what she understood.
She
Ms.
just
Richter.
said, I promise that I'll pay you back. I thank you for bailing me out.
When did she say that to you?
In front of the bail bond gentleman, when we were signing these papers.
Let me see the papers. Okay, what was the next amount of money?
It was the $500 that I loaned her to have her car fixed.
Okay, let me hear.
She was driving a Geo Metro. It needed some repairs. It was $1,000 to have it fixed. Matt was my witness. He was going to pay half, and I was going to pay the other half. I wrote him a check. He deposited it into his bank account, and he
well,
used
just
his
a
credit
second.
card.
Why were you going to pay half? I don't hear what...
She didn't have the money to pay it, and it needed to be fixed, or else she wouldn't be able to drive back and forth to work.
Well, when did you have that discussion with her, Miss Richter?
It was...
On the phone while I was at Winco.
It was not on the phone. She was in my...
Just a minute. Where was it?
I was at Winco with Mr. Weiser at the time, and she called me and told me that her and her husband now were going to loan me the $500.
No, just a second. She said she and her husband were going to loan you the $500. Perfect. And she did. So why don't you have to pay her back?
She had me arrested.
What did she have you arrested for?
Charges on credit card fraud.
And that's another thing that's pending against you? I don't want to hear about it. So she's alleging that you took money from her credit cards. And she called and had you arrested. Sounds right to me. $815 so far. Now let's hear about the bridesmaid's dress.
Bridesmaid's dress, I was getting married March. She was my maid of honor. I have a list of the other two ladies that were my bridesmaids. They knew they were all to pay for the dress. If they did not pay for the dress, they were to not be in the wedding. Being she was my supposed best friend living with me, I assumed that she would pay me back for it.
Don't assume anything.
That's my fault.
That's your fault is right. It's a very nice dress. I hope you can wear it. You don't assume anything. After she didn't have $315, which she didn't give you back for the bail bondsman, and $500 she didn't have for her car, really $1,000 she didn't have for her car, how you could legitimately expect her to pay for a dress, expect her to pay for a dress, is something I quite frankly don't understand. So it looks like a very nice dress. It's yours. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $815. Thanks. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step. Meyer. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat.
Ms. Chu, you provided daycare for Miss Myers'
Yes,
baby,
ma'am.
child, toddler?
Yes, 4 years old at the time.
And it is your claim that she owes you some money. She owes you some money for daycare that you actually provided.
Right.
And then punitive damages because you claim that she defamed you. When, after you sued her for the money that she owed you in small claims court, she called the state and reported that your daycare facility was substandard.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what the case is about. And Ms. Myers says she had every right to call the state with regard to the unsanitary and unsafe conditions in your house, because that's why she removed her child from your daycare facility, and she doesn't owe you anything.
Yes.
When did you bring your 4-year-old to Miss Chu to babysit?
January 17th.
Of
2005? Yes, ma'am.
And how did you find her?
A co-worker of mine had her child in her care.
And she was satisfied?
Well, she worked late hours and she didn't have no other choice, ma'am.
Well, you wouldn't have put your child in a daycare facility unless you said to this co-worker of yours, are you satisfied?
Quite honestly, I was desperate to find a daycare. I just started at my job at the beginning of December, and I needed to have daycare. Since I just started, I was not financially free to pay $450 up front for other daycares.
So?
So I talked to her, and she said, well, go ahead and try it. Mrs. Chu talked to me. She said, right now I'm kind of full. I have too many children, but it's okay. I can take him. It's okay. I got myself in trouble before.
How many children did she have at the time?
I'm not sure. Like
You
I said,
didn't ask?
I wasn't in the daycare facility.
What do you mean you weren't in the facility?
We just kind of met at a stable and talked about stuff like this.
You met where?
At a stable. I was going to buy her horse. That's how we met initially.
I thought you met initially through a coworker.
Yes, ma'am. The co-worker has a horse, Miss Two has a horse, and I wanted to purchase a horse. Her
You
horse
wanted
was
to
for
buy
sale.
a horse?
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't have $450 to pay up front for a daycare and you wanted to buy a horse?
Yes, ma'am.
Explain that to me.
I was looking into buying a horse. But
For what?
To ride, ma'am.
Keep going.
Like I said, I went to look for a daycare.
Now, Fred, last time you spoke to me, you were looking for a horse.
Yes, ma'am.
And
From
you
there
met her
we
at a
talked.
stable. And you hadn't been to the daycare facility yet. Stop
No,
playing
ma'am.
around with your hair.
I called her on a Saturday. I said, you know, I know you have a daycare. Is it possible for Jason to attend your daycare? She said, come on by on Monday. I went there, dropped him off.
Who would babysat for your son when you started working?
His godmother.
Well, what happened to her babysitting?
She had another job coming up that she was working, and she said she can't do it no more.
So you found her and you dropped him off without ever having seen the inside of the facility?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a husband?
Yes, ma'am.
What does he do for a living?
He's working in retail.
Did you end up buying her horse?
No, ma'am.
You have a horse?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you buy it?
Late February.
How much did you pay for it?
$600.
Where do you keep it?
Sally Hill.
At a stable?
Yes, ma'am.
And how much do you pay to board the horse at the stable?
$225.
A month?
Yes, ma'am.
You got your priorities a little bit backwards, Miss Mayor. You got your priorities backwards. Before you take a horse, you find an appropriate daycare for your child. Not one where you don't have to pay up front. Because according to the figures that you just gave me, you had $600 to buy a horse and $225 to board the horse, and you didn't have $450 to pay for what you might consider an appropriate daycare up front. You have other children?
Yes, ma'am.
How many?
2.
How old are they?
15 and 10.
So you got a lot of extra money. Must have a lot of extra money if you have a horse. Oy. Now, I'm not getting into how many children you're licensed for. I'm not getting into any of that. Just tell me, how long have you been a daycare provider?
7 years.
When did she first bring her son into your daycare?
In January.
And how long did you take care of him?
She had him out for a week and Good Friday, and then she brought him back, and it was April 4th, and he was in my home April 4th and April 5th. And on April 5th, that was the last day that she brought him. So,
how much did she owe you when she took her son out on the 5th?
She owed me for the 28th week, and then she also owed me for that week that he was in my care, but she took him out.
Okay, let me see the contract that you signed. And it's $85 a week.
Yes, ma'am.
So she owes you, according to you, for 2 weeks.
She owes me for 2 weeks and then a 2 weeks notice, which is also in the contract because she quit without any kind of notice to me. She sent me a letter on 4/6 by certified mail saying, thank you for your services. Basically, I don't need you anymore.
Can I see the letter she
sent? Sure. And then I returned with another letter to her explaining what I was expecting of her at that time. And in all honesty, Judge, I wasn't going to do another thing with her because when you're a daycare, you are...
Right. I got it. But then she went and filed a complaint.
Right. And I've been in business a long time, and I am inspected by the state and the health department 6 months every year, and they have never had a problem with my home.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She was with me 5 months, or 4 months after that.
No, she wasn't.
Well...
Listen to me. Okay. Don't be a fast talker. I don't like fast talkers.
And later today...
How old are you, Mr. England?
I'll be 48 in 2 weeks.
And how old are you, Miss Murray?
I'm 25.
Okay. Me.
You got to find friends your own age.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Child care provider June 2 says ex-client Pat Meyer owes for daycare fees and defamation of character as a result of filing false charges with the state. Pat claims June's parrot bit her son.
Go ahead.
Okay, the reason why we pulled Jason out of her care was because her macaw parrot bit Jason He had the chance to walk across the dining room table, walk up his arm, and bite him because he wouldn't let go of his pretzel. I've got the pictures for it.
Okay.
And another child also bit him in the arm, and we just had enough.
When was the parrot bite?
6 months prior.
Just a second.
Oh.
When was the parrot bite?
It happened in March.
And what about the bite from the child?
The bite happened on the 5th of April. That's where we pulled him out.
Tell me about the bite.
The bite from the child?
Yes.
Okay. Well, and let me just notate, the bite from the bird was not a bite, and he was not on my dining room table.
I don't care where he was. Shouldn't have been around children.
But
shouldn't have been around children.
Okay, well, I'll agree with that.
Good.
Okay. As far as the bite from the child...
But that didn't precipitate her removing the child from your
care.
care.
She was with me 5 months, or 4 months after that.
No, she wasn't.
Well...
Listen to me.
Okay.
Don't be a fast talker. I don't like fast talkers. Child started with you in January, February, and March.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3 months.
Correct.
So don't say it was 6 months before, because 6 months the child wasn't in your care.
That's true, but...
Okay. But she still brought the child back after the incident with the bird, but did not want to return with the child almost immediately after the bite.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'll explain that, too.
Go ahead.
Okay. JJ was in my home, and that is why I brought my daughter today, because she's a witness to his behavior. And I have a little boy who is hearing impaired. And when the little boy came into the house that day, JJ immediately knocked him down. I mean, just pushed him down for no reason. I have basically 2 rooms, and each go into each other. And the next thing I know, the little boy who is hearing impaired comes running out of that room again because JJ pushed him down again. She didn't also tell you the story that her child punched that little boy in the face.
That day, on the 4th.
Yes, 5th.
On the 5th, the little boy retaliated by biting him.
Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what
Where
happened.
were you?
I was standing right there. And next thing I know, her son punches, and he grabs his arm and bites him that quick. I mean, it happens so very quick.
Okay, fine. Now, mother, she's upset. Child was bitten by another child. Pulls the child out. Fine. You called the authorities? You called the authorities?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
I don't remember. I really don't. Maybe 2 weeks afterwards.
Why?
Because I don't feel that she's taken the care that she should by the daycare that she has for the children.
Well, why didn't you call the authorities the next day?
I took the day off Wednesday to find a new daycare, and I was...
That doesn't answer my question.
I just didn't have the time.
Well, what inspired you to call 2 weeks later? When did you receive the small claims summons that she filed against you? All that's documented, so
yes,
you might as well...
I don't know the date.
But the phone call that you made to the authorities was after that.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Yes.
Now I'd like to see the report from the authorities when they came to do the inspection.
The first one's the dog catcher report, and the second one is the health inspector.
Who's taking care of your son now?
He's at home with his siblings and Mrs. Oliver again.
What did you do between the 6th of April and the 27th of May?
Oh, I'm sorry. He was in Koala Daycare.
How much did they charge you?
$95 a week.
And if you were unhappy with Miss Two's daycare, you could have put him in for an extra $10 a week to this other daycare.
I wasn't aware of that daycare at that time.
You should have been. If you spent a little more time choosing an appropriate daycare rather than shopping around for a horse, you could have been aware of the best daycare in your vicinity. I have, very little patience for somebody who spends any extra time on anything else when they have 3 children looking for quality daycare, which should be your first priority. First, not third, not second.
At that time, I was thinking I was doing the best I could by giving him
You don't
home
tell me
daycare.
the best you could. The best you could is, you just told me that everybody else wanted up front $450, and she didn't, so you chose her. And yet at the same time, you were looking for a horse, and you bought a horse for $600.
Yes, ma'am.
Same month.
No, ma'am, it was the end of February.
A month later.
Yes, ma'am.
She owes you $340 for the daycare.
Yes, ma'am.
She also owes you $300 because I believe she filed this in retaliation and nothing more for your filing a small claim summons against her. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $600. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
When I turned around to put his jacket on, I noticed the injury on his neck, and I asked her what happened. and next thing she pulls out this huge bird that's almost taller than my child.
My parrot is not as big as her child. And not only that, I've had kids that I've had since they were 5 months old and still have, and they're 4 years old.
Obviously, I made a mistake, and I will never do that again.
You know, truth does tell. She'd rather spend money on her horse than her child.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of English versus Murray. Step forward, please.
Bartender Dana English is suing his former friend, 25-year-old bartender Lara Murray, for a series of unpaid loans. Dana claims Lara used him.
Mr. English, you claim a series of loans to the defendant who was a friend of yours.
Yes.
Ms. Murray says that you were a kind friend. You gave her money. That's exactly what you did. You gave her money, and everything that you gave her were gifts. There was never any intention for her to repay those gifts, and it only became a problem when she rebuffed your romantic intentions.
No.
Okay. How old are you, Mr. English?
I'll be 48 in 2 weeks.
And how old are you, Miss Murray?
I'm 25.
Okay.
You got to find friends your own age, Mr. English. Then this sort of thing doesn't happen. According to what I read in your complaint, you hired Miss Murray to work as a hostess in a restaurant that you manage.
She was hired at the restaurant I worked at, yes.
When?
October.
Of what year?
2003.
When was the first loan you made her?
The insurance payment of October of 04.
How much?
$120.
And what was the arrangement, according to you, for repayment of that loan?
Lara said she would repay me the money because she didn't have it. She wasn't working that much.
So she said eventually she'll pay
Yes.
you back. When was the next loan?
It was for December, also a car insurance payment of $120.
December of 2004?
Yes.
Between October and December, had she paid you any money back of the first loan?
No.
When was the next loan?
The next loan was a car company called about the loan for her car. They didn't say it was her car. It was a $300 payment that I made, put the account number on it, and it was for her car, not mine. When I told Lara about this, she said she would repay me the $300.
So you made a car payment and they put it in the wrong account?
Yes.
Oh.
It had her account number on it, not mine, on the check.
How did you have her account number?
Because I said the loan company called me and told me she was behind on her car
call you?
payment because I had co-signed the loan.
Oh, just when did you co-sign the loan, sir?
That would be in September of 2004. That was the second car I co-signed for her.
When was the first car that you co-signed for her?
May of 2003.
May I say something?
Not yet.
Okay.
What other monies did you loan to her, sir?
Lara came to live with me towards the end of January, and she needed clothes for work. We went out shopping, and I spent $118 on clothes for her to go to work.
Between October of 2004, when you gave her the first loan, and January of 2005, when you loaned her money to buy clothes, when she came to live with you, had she paid you back any of the original $120?
No, ma'am.
You get where I'm going, Mr. English?
I was a very good friend, and I got used.
Fine. So what are you doing in court?
Lara told me she'd pay me back. She just then said, I called her. She called me one night and said, sue me. So I sued her.
Now I'll hear you.
Well, I started working at the restaurant in October of 2002. So that's when I met him, and I've been friends with him ever since. I got my car in May of 2003, and I was short some money, and he said that if I needed it, that he could help me out. Anytime he'd buy me Christmas presents, birthday presents.
He's not talking about Christmas or birthday presents, Miss Murray.
Oh, I know.
He's talking about cash.
Yeah. Anytime I needed help, that I was saying that I needed help with my family, he was always there. He was always calling me, coming over, helping take my aunt to the grocery store. He doesn't have any other friends. I have a lot of friends, and when I started hanging out with my other friends more and not hanging out with him, his feelings got hurt, and then that's when he would start saying, well, I want this back, or I want to hang out with you at least one day a week. Then it started getting weird, and I started pulling back because I looked to him like a father figure. He is. He's like a father figure.
Why did you move into his house in January?
I only stayed. I was fighting with my family. I didn't move in. I was only there a couple days.
She was there for approximately 4 to 5 weeks.
No, I don't think
Off and on, yes.
Off and on.
But she was there.
Not straight.
No.
She went out and would stay away for days at a time and then come back.
Right.
Mr. English, you play around with a baby. This is you get babyish behavior.
Well, when she said she's going to repay me, I expect her to be repaid.
Well, Mr. English, I have to determine whether you had a legitimate expectation of being repaid. And when somebody borrows money in October and they don't pay you back, you don't lend them more money in December.
Well, when she keeps
and more, I'm speaking, and more money in January. You don't do that because then you don't have an expectation of being paid back. Eventually she'll pay you back if you live that long. Not from this court. You gotta learn, wisen up. She's a baby. She's still out there, you know, growing up. You're all grown up. Fortunately, the whole business cost you $797?
Yes, ma'am.
That's what you say, $797. It was a cheap lesson. Is she making car payments?
No.
What happened to the car?
The car was repoed. It's about being auctioned off today to make up the money that she owes on the car loans and the car being towed. She totaled the car. She wrecked both cars.
Find a nice contemporary friend. Thank you very much. That's all.
Parties are excused. Your Honor, this is case number 237 on the calendar in the matter of Peterson versus Peterson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
This is your grandma.
Yes.
Your grandma says that she made some loans to you while you were living with her.
Yes.
Over $3,000?
Yes.
And you say that there was never a loan, and if there was, you gave her some money in cash, and you bartered for some of it by taking care of her and doing her landscaping.
Yes.
When did you go and live with your grandmother?
It was back in February 2003.
Why?
Well, due to divorce situations with my parents, my dad needed room so my sisters could live with him, and I had to go.
You weren't having trouble with your father, were you?
No.
So when you realized that you had to find another place to live, did you call your grandmother?
No.
Well, how did it come about that you went to live with her?
I went on my own, and I was in my car for a little bit.
You were in your car?
Yes.
Why were you in your car?
Because I didn't want to beg anyone. I didn't want to ask anyone to do anything.
How were you supporting yourself?
I was going store to store with getting pop cans.
Well, why weren't you working?
I was previously laid off from another job.
How long hadn't you worked?
Since October of '02.
Well, maybe that's why your father told you to get out.
No.
Your grandmother said yes. So your grandmother volunteered to take you in?
I had a cell phone that was about to expire and stuff. She called me on it and was wondering where I was. She didn't want me to... She was basically saying, I don't want you to live on the car. I thought you were going to come live with me. I was like, okay, I will.
Is that what happened?
No, I hadn't had any contact with Justin. Nobody had. And I was very worried about him. And he showed up on my doorstep. I just accepted that he would come and stay with me.
Now tell me about these loans that you claim you made to your grandson.
Okay, he got a job through some friends of mine.
Great. Starting when?
I'm not positive.
February 5th.
Great.
03.
So practically right away?
Yes.
It was before I moved in.
Go ahead.
No, you already lived with me, Justin. Anyway, he owed quite a few bills. His car needed work. He was driving without a license, without insurance, and he was picked up once that I know of and his car taken away, and I think they took him away too, and his father got him out. So I asked him to make a list of what he owed, and we worked out together what the loan would be. And I have a copy of the original check was $3,500.
May I see it, please? So he sat down and made a list of what all of his bills were.
Yes. And we supposedly paid off everything he owed.
So that was in July of 2003. You paid off all your debts.
Yeah, that I knew of.
Great. How much did you pay back?
I started paying small increments. Work was starting to get unstable. There was one time where I had a layoff period of 6 weeks.
And what did you do during that 6-week period?
I used unemployment, but it was very little, and I was barely holding on to keeping the insurance that I had.
How much rent were you paying to your grandmother?
$200 a month.
Is that right?
Yes. However, the first 3 months, I didn't ask him to pay anything so he could save money to get an apartment.
So how did you pay her back?
For those first 3 months, all the money that I couldn't save, I was putting towards what was being collected upon me from collection agencies, Verizon, and other companies. And I was basically being swallowed and just trying to keep up.
Well, that's why she gave you this $3,500
Yeah,
to
that came 3
consolidate
months
everything
later.
so you could pay it all off and then pay her back regularly in a smaller increment. How much did you pay her back?
Well, I've got records here of what I have paid her.
Can I see it, please?
Yes. This is when I recently got employed, and like agreements we made verbally that I would pay what I can when I could, and at least the minimum.
Well, you have down here $720.
Yes.
And I see that the payments didn't start here until May of 2004.
Yeah. That was
Why is that?
Well, that was when I moved to Umatilla for work.
But, Your Honor, also, I got one of the bills, the statements from the credit card company, and there was a $250...
What credit card company? You gave him a check.
Yes, I did, but it's from a Chase Manhattan Bank. It's from a credit card company.
I see. So they took this right off a credit card.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I got a $250 charge on the credit card, and he said that he had a bill that he had overlooked. I had given him a signed check from the credit card company because they send you blank checks.
So he said you would sign the check and gave it to him?
Yes, he did. And
did you?
No, I didn't.
You mean he told you that you would sign the blank check?
Yes. And anyway, I didn't argue with him because he's always right. So I called the credit company and asked them for a copy of the check because I knew I hadn't given him a check and signed it.
Can I see it, please?
It was a check that he had forged. And he had said, well...
Just a second. What do you have to say about that, Justin?
I'd gotten a notice from Verizon for my cell phone that had expired, and I had $350 still left in the bank, and I needed a little extra to do that. I called her on the phone. She was kind of slurring her words, which I figured she'd been drinking, and she said, okay.
So she is correct that you forged her name to the check?
I signed it, yes.
You forged her name to the check?
Yes, I signed it.
She didn't turn you in, did she?
No.
When did you tell your grandmother exactly how much you wrote out this check for?
Afterwards, she confronted me about it later. I figured she already knew because I'd called her. And
when did you leave your grandmother's house?
Late January, early February of 2004.
Tell me about that.
She was in Palm Springs, and we were having troubles. Every time I'd come home, it was Justin, 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 and I'm just trying to get by.
Justin, 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 what?
She would confront me about, you need to do more, you need to do more, you need to pay more, and it's like, I'm trying. And what we agreed upon was making at least the minimum as long as there wasn't a negative mark.
Well, you hadn't paid anything, Justin. You showed me what you paid. You hadn't been paying anything. Not a minimum, not anything, for months.
I had also done work for her, which she agreed upon.
So tell me about that, Justin.
Well, she was complaining about the lawn. I offered, Grandma, since I'm not able to get you as much, I could do the lawn for you. I could have it done in one day.
Try not to look at the walls, Justin. Try to look at me when you're testifying.
I'm just recalling, Your Honor.
Well, try to recall while you're looking at me.
Okay. Well, I was trying to find ways.
No, you're right. Are you cross-eyed?
No.
Then look at me.
I was trying to get the balance covered and stuff, and I knew I was getting close to missing more. And I went to a friend. I was just overlooking this.
You don't have to look at anything. Tell the truth. You should be able to remember it.
I am.
Okay.
And I went and purchased a bunch of sod. My buddy had come over too, Chris.
What month was this in, Justin?
I don't remember the exact month.
Well,
it was like July or August.
Of what year?
Of 2003.
I want you to think about whether it was July or August of 2003.
I just remember it was a really hot day.
And what you're telling me, Justin, is you had fallen behind in the payments.
I was coming close to, yes.
But previous to that, you had made the payments.
Yes.
How many payments had you made previous to that?
Well, I'd given her bigger amounts of money, like $200, $250. One time she wrote, well, I gave her the checks. And
so that was before you were doing the landscaping?
Yes.
All right, now let me explain something to you, Justin, my dear. According to what you just said to me, and I want to make sure that I'm getting this right, Officer Burt, Justin says that he did some work for his grandmother in order to pay off his debt to her. Some landscaping work in July or August of 2003. He said that previous to that, he had been up to date in his payments. That's what you said.
Yes.
That's what he said. My problem with that, Officer Burt, could you just take a look at this check and tell me the date of the check of his grandmother's for $3,500?
7/10/2003.
So what you're telling me, Justin, is before your grandmother gave you this check for $3,500 in mid-July of 2003, you started paying the credit card company back? Is that what you're telling me?
I made a plural mistake, yes.
You made a big mistake! Because you may be trying to get over on me that something's wrong with your grandmother's mind, but I got news for you. Nothing is wrong with mine. And certainly nothing is wrong with Officer Petrie Hawkins Bird. So when somebody lends you money and someone extends themselves, puts money on a credit card so that you can have a clean slate, because that's what your grandmother did, you don't turn around and kick them in the behind by standing there and telling a whole bunch of lies. Do I make myself clear?
Yes.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,200. That's all. Get out.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm not mad at my grandson. I'm hoping this will help him to mature and be responsible for himself.
I tried being good with my grandma. I did have problems.
The world doesn't owe you a living. You've got to pay your way.
Trying to look like a saint who got screwed.
I hope that it helps him to mature and be responsible for himself.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Perry versus Bartle. Step forward.
Homemaker Lynn Perry is suing Travis and Michelle Bartle for the cost of vet bills. Lynn says Michelle's 12-year-old son, Matthew Fry, beat on her cat with a stick.
Miss Perry, Mr. and Mrs. Bartle's son injured your cat with a stick. Yes. And you want them to pay the vet bills. And Mr. and Mrs. Bartle seem to say it was the cat's fault because the cat was out running loose and the cat should not have been running loose. That's your defense, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
You, over here.
Have a seat up here, okay?
So, you watch me. Don't take your eyes off me for a second. Your son told you the following story, which I gather from your answer, that he was riding down the street at his grandmother's house, and a dog was chasing him in the middle of the street.
Yes, ma'am.
And he had a stick, and he accidentally hit the cat.
That's what he told me.
And that's what you believe.
He told me that the bike hit the cat, and then the stick hit the cat, too, yeah.
Oh. Now, your cat was seriously injured.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of a cat is it?
She's actually a mutt. She's pure white, one blue eye, one gray eye, 16 years old.
Managed to get through 16 years before she met this young man?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of injuries did she have?
She's lost some sight in her left eye, and she was bleeding from her nose and her mouth when the incident happened.
So she was hit in the face with a stick?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Now, you want to tell me how you hit this cat with the stick?
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to hear the truth from you.
Yes, ma'am.
You say yes, ma'am. You make sure you believe yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Lynn Perry says 12-year-old Matthew Fry beat on her pet cat with a stick. Matthew claims it was an accident.
You have photographs of the cat?
I do.
I'd like to.
This one's
So far, you're doing very well. Don't take your eyes off me.
This one's 2 years ago. She's fat and healthy. This one's current.
Okay. 2 years ago. Current.
Big white cat.
She was a big white cat. She was about over 20 pounds 2 years ago. Currently, she's about 6.5 pounds.
You're 12 years old?
Yes.
You do okay in school?
Yeah.
When did you go to your grandmother's house that day, Matthew?
We went over there that morning.
Who went over there?
Me and my two sisters.
Now, there came a point at some time that you were outside on your bike.
Yeah.
Who were you riding with, yourself or with your sisters?
I was by myself. It was after I took my sisters to their friends.
And about how far was that? A block, 2 blocks?
About a block.
Did you have any trouble taking your sisters over to their friend's house?
No.
Did you have any trouble coming back? Look at me.
The dog.
Look at me.
I was getting chased by the dog.
Oh, that's what you just a dog. Was it a big dog?
It was a bulldog. It was about up to my knees.
And where did that big bulldog start to chase you, Matthew?
Right as a stop sign after I was coming down the hill. I was going to turn down and go down the hill, and it started chasing me.
And you didn't get off your bike from the time the bulldog started to chase you until the time you hit the cat. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you tell me when you got this stick. Is not an answer. Look right here.
I left with the stick from my grandma's.
You did?
Yes.
Why would you leave carrying a stick?
The dog was chasing me.
No. The dog didn't start chasing you until you got to a stop sign, Matthew.
Yeah, from my sister's friend's house.
That's not what you told me. You told me that the dog started to chase you when you were making a turn at a stop sign.
Yes, ma'am. Or right as I take the right turn, he started chasing me.
Right, and you didn't get off the bike. So if the dog was chasing you, and I asked you, when did you get this big stick?
Before I left the house.
Why would you start carrying a stick on your bicycle?
Because he's bit me before, and I didn't want to get bit again. And
Matthew, I don't believe you.
My mom was...
Matthew, I don't believe you. You may have told that story to your mother and father about the big dog chasing you and the stick, but I don't believe it. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you want to tell me how you hit this cat with the stick?
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to hear the truth from you.
Yes, ma'am.
You say yes, ma'am. You make sure you believe yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
I was riding down the hill with the stick in my hand because that's when the dog was chasing me.
Yeah, how big a stick was it?
It was a broomstick.
A broomstick?
Broke in half.
Go ahead.
I was riding down through there, and I was looking back. That's the time that the dog was chasing me. And I kept on looking back, and he wasn't there. And I turned around. I didn't know what it was until I hit it. And I saw that it was a cat. I really didn't mean to, but... So.
I still don't know how it got hit in the face with the stick.
I was riding down through there, and it was in the middle of the road, and I looked back, and I looked forward, and I hit it.
With a stick?
Yes, ma'am.
Baloney. Go sit down. It's not true. It's not the way it happened.
Well, he told me that he hit the cat with the bike and then the stick, and the bike has freestyle pegs on the front.
He was lying to you. He's a fibber. I had 10 grandchildren. Most of them ride bicycles. None of them ride a bicycle carrying a broomstick. None of them. And I raised 5 children. None of them ride their bicycle that they're supposed to hold on to with 2 hands, carrying a broomstick in one hand, unless they're looking for trouble. You got me?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
They may have believed you momentarily. Maybe they still do. I don't believe you, Matthew. You're not supposed to hurt a living thing, ever. And if a dog was chasing you, you don't take your bike out. You stay at your grandmother's house. And if it was chasing you when you took your sister to their friend's house, stay at the friend's house and call your grandmother. And call your mother and say, I'm afraid to go home because this big bulldog is chasing me.
Yes,
you understand?
Yes,
That's why I don't believe you. All they're asking for is their vet bills. You're lucky. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $605.01. That's all. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have seats.
Miss Adams, on what date did this accident happen?
December 16th.
What time?
Approximately 10:15 p.m.
What kind of a car were you driving?
A 93 Saturn.
According to your complaint, the defendant's dog ran out into the middle of the road. Your car hit the dog. A lot of damage was caused to your car that you want the defendants to pay for.
Yes, ma'am.
Unfortunately, the dog was killed, not immediately, after the dog was hit by your car. And they say that you were probably going too fast. They are counterclaiming for the pain and suffering that they felt when their dog died and for the value of the dog. What kind of a street is this?
It's a residential. It's a very narrow residential street.
Do you live in that neighborhood?
No.
What were you doing there?
I had taken some paperwork to my friend that lives around the corner from them.
Is there lighting in the streets?
It's not a lot of lighting, no. It's not as bright as a busy street.
Tell me what happened.
I had left my friend's house. I pulled around the corner, and it was approximately 6 houses down. This dog ran out in front of me. I don't even think I had a chance to hit my brakes when I hit it. It ran between 2 cars, and I was there.
Were there cars parked on the side of the street?
Oh, yeah. It's a very busy street. It's a tight street.
So there were cars parked, and the dog ran out in between the cars?
Yes.
What was your dog doing out without a leash?
I wasn't there at the time, but...
Okay, so you don't know. Who was there?
Well, my neighbor, my guest neighbor, he was there. He saw everything what happened.
Just a second.
Sorry.
Were you there?
No.
Well, who was there?
My witness, him.
I was right there.
Tell me what your name is.
My name is Gerardo Cruz.
Mr. Cruz, Were you taking care of the dog?
No, I had it was in 10:15 p.m. Excuse me.
You answer my question.
Okay.
First, put your hands down. Were you taking care of the dog?
Yes, I was.
You just told me no. Were you taking care of the dog or were you not taking care of the dog?
Yes, I was taking care of the dog.
Okay. What was the dog doing without a leash?
Well, he followed me out to the street. It was approximately 4:50, between 4:30 and 5 o'clock when that lady
I don't care
ran
what
over the
time
dog.
it was. First of all, what kind of dog is this?
It's a Rottweiler.
So it's a big dog?
Yeah.
Yes.
What was this big dog doing in your care without a leash?
Had gone out to the street.
For what?
To get a football across the street.
You went out to go get a football across the street.
Yes.
And?
And I picked it up, and the dog followed me accidentally. I guess out to the street. And I was talking to my elderly neighbor that lives right in front of my house when I saw the dog coming towards me, so I told him, go back. So he was going back. Approximately, the car was coming 40 to 50 miles per hour when the impact.
Sit down. Did you leave him in charge of your house?
He's my guest house.
He
lives in my house. Like I got a guest home.
He lives in the back of our house,
my house.
in our guest home.
So he was in charge of your dog?
Well, we're not there at the moment.
At the time, he was the only one that was there and seeing everything with my neighbor.
Let me listen to me. When you weren't home, where did you put your dog?
On the backyard.
And his house is in the backyard?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if he goes out and the dog is not chained or anything, he's just in the backyard?
Yes.
He let the dog out?
Yeah.
He let the dog out?
Yeah.
So, what do you want from her? You got a big Rottweiler. He walks out to get a football, goes across the streets talking to somebody. He's not paying attention. He doesn't know whether he's a foot or horseback. He lets your big dog come out, and your dog gets hit by a car.
How come she drives 45 or 50 miles per hour?
You weren't, madam, let me explain something to you. You weren't there. You weren't there. It's his fault, not her fault. It's his fault. And if he made up a story that the car was speeding, that just to make himself feel better because of his negligence, the dog got out of the backyard and the dog got hit. Dogs are stupid. They're not smart. Dog doesn't say, oh, I could get hit by a car if I ran out between these two cars. It sees somebody that they knew walking out, followed him. He doesn't turn around before he crosses the street and say, oh, I left the gate open. The dog followed me out. I better go put the dog back inside or get a leash. No, 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 no. He goes over to talk to a neighbor, right? Very smart, very intelligent. Let me see the damage to the car, please.
Here's the estimate. I already paid for that. That's been paid for the radiator.
What did you do after the dog came in contact with your car?
After I hit the dog, I got out to see if the dog was okay, and the dog got up and took off running. So I asked him to stay with the car, and I followed the dog. Well, the dog jumped into a yard, and there was a gentleman, nobody here, but there was a gentleman standing in the front yard that didn't speak Spanish. And I said, is somebody here?
Didn't speak English.
I mean, I'm sorry, I only spoke Spanish. Didn't speak English. And a little girl ran in the house and asked some lady to come out who spoke English. So I said, is that your dog? And she said, yes. I said, well, I just hit it, and I said, I've got damage to my new car, and I said, I'd like to have it taken care of. At which point she said, okay. We walked over, she looked at my car, and she said, that's not my dog. That belongs to my father-in-law. I said, okay. So I said, can I have his number? They gave me a business card, and I said, okay. They said, call tomorrow. So I called the next morning. He wasn't there. So I called for several days, and finally I went over there and I spoke to this gentleman right here, and he threatened me with bodily injury.
My God.
Me and my household.
That's a lie.
That's not a lie.
Your Honor, that's a lie.
Your Honor, I had a witness. I had a witness that's in the hospital.
Listen to me. I'm going to give you a chance to respond. So I don't want you. Pay careful attention where you are. You're in a courtroom. You're not outside. She's going to testify. Then you're going to have a chance to rebut what she says. All right?
I had a witness. He's in the hospital. He
I'm not interested in seeing
And then here's a letter from my mother that I was on a speakerphone.
I'm not interested in a letter from your mother.
Okay. They just threatened me over the phone, too. At which point, my mom's very ill, and I can't put my mom through that, so we moved.
Damages are about $3,000 to the car. It was done?
I also missed a hospital appointment 2 days later because my car was out of commission that I was supposed to have a
Should have
surgery.
taken a cab. Don't be ridiculous.
It's
Don't
in
pad
Hawthorne.
it. Don't
I'm
listen to
disabled.
me.
I have no money.
Listen to me.
Okay.
Don't pad it.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Genius over here doesn't call the vet immediately, doesn't call a hospital immediately to take the dog over. He lets the dog bleed to death for 6 hours.
And later today,
she jabs his stick into the truck a couple times. She said something about, my man stayed all night with you last night. I was like, your man ain't stayed all night with me. I have no clue what you're talking about or who the F you are.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Helen Adams says Alex Contreras and his mother Ana Maria Asensio owe for damage to her car when she ran over their dog. Alex and his mom say Helen was driving too fast.
I don't think that you were going 50 or 60 miles an hour down that street. I think that he said that just to make himself feel a little bit better because he's really responsible for the dog getting killed. Put your hand down.
I was going to say so.
I'm not interested. If I were interested, I know what it means. I didn't think you had to go to the
but
bathroom,
he's
sir.
Lying. I was there
Listen
too.
to
I'm
me,
in the
sir.
same neighborhood.
Listen to me, sir. It's his fault that the dog got killed. He left the gate open and allowed the dog to get out. If he were careful and left his house and closed the gate, then the dog wouldn't have had an opportunity to run out between two parked cars and get killed. It's his fault.
Their dog jumps the fence.
I'm
sorry.
That's not what he said happened.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
I'm just curious about something. The dog got back to your house. Did you take the dog to the vet?
Yeah, it was too late. So we had called sanitation, animal control, and by the time it was, I don't know, by the time, I wasn't there, man, to tell you the truth, but no, I got there 4 or 5 days later, because she was...
Got there 4 or 5 days later?
Because she was...
Shh, quiet. When you realized the dog had been hit, did you call a vet immediately?
No.
What time did you get home?
Around 10.
Around 10 o'clock at night. Where was the dog?
He was over there bleeding.
So according to this gentleman, this happened 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The dog was still alive when you came home at 10 o'clock. That's what you said?
Bleeding.
Yeah, of course, bleeding from 4 o'clock in the afternoon, according to this genius.
To tell you the truth, I don't know if he was dead now because I don't take care of the dog. Only my son, and you know them, because I don't...
Pay careful attention to me. He testified that this happened at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He walked out of the yard, leaving the door open. The dog came out, the dog got hit, right? The dog is bleeding. Genius over here doesn't call the vet immediately, doesn't call a hospital immediately to take the dog over. He lets the dog bleed to death for 6 hours. I mean, this is somebody...
I know,
I understand. Do you have children?
Yes, I do.
Don't let him take care of your children.
No, my children, I take care of
No,
them.
don't let him take care of your
no.
children. Good.
I'm
Judgment
not
for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. That's all.
The problem was the dog was big. If I'd have been going faster, it would have busted my windshield because he came up on my hood.
She got up, oh, whose F dog is this? Who's F the F owner? Who's this? Who's that? Come on.
They said, no problem, we'll take care of it. And then they just, all of a sudden, everything changed after they saw the damage done to my car.
She knows she's lying. Obviously, she's lying.
They threatened me with bodily injury to me and my household.
She said I threatened her. That's the first lie. If anything, she threatened me.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Stewart versus Cobb. Step forward, please.
Store manager Sandra Stewart is suing dietary aide Lynn Cobb for damaging her rental truck when she beat it with a stick. Lynn says she caught Sandra with her boyfriend.
All right, Miss Stewart, one evening you were sitting in a truck that you had rented. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning?
After 3.
And you were sitting in your truck with the handsome and affable Bruce, who happened to at that time have been her boyfriend.
Correct.
You didn't know her.
No.
And according to your complaint, Miss Cobb is out looking for Bruce and finds you and Bruce sitting in your rental truck.
Correct.
And proceeds to go ballistic on your truck.
Correct.
Hitting it with a stick and causing a whole bunch of damage for which you are responsible to the rental company, and they are billing you some $624. And you want Miss Cobb to pay.
Correct.
Miss Cobb says she didn't hit your truck, she just hit you. So tell me when this was and what you were doing sitting with the handsome and affable and I see absent Bruce.
Right. It happened on August the 31st of this year at my job. I was working for the Star and Press. My position was a field rep. I come in at 1 a.m., Bruce comes in at 3 a.m.
So you're like a dispatcher of newspapers?
Correct.
Okay, so go ahead.
Bruce comes in about 3:15. 5 or 6 minutes after Bruce was in the truck with me, we hear this little noisy car. A couple seconds later, this automobile pulls up in the tunnel, because we're in the tunnel. She jumps out of the car. I don't know what
She, the defendant.
Right. She comes over to the truck, and she says something to Bruce. Something about out all night long or something. I looks over at Bruce, and I ask Bruce, who the F is this? Bruce, who is this? Well, she has this stick that is probably the length of this table right here. Nice size. It's like a tree branch. It once used to be a tree branch, but it's been shellacked and fixed up all kind of pretty, like a walking stick. She jabs this stick into the truck a couple times, babbling something. Don't know what she was saying.
Through the passenger door? Through the
no,
passenger
driver's door. I'm in the driver's seat.
Oh, you're in the driver's door.
Right. Bruce gets out of the truck from the passenger side. He gets out of the truck. He walks around the front of the truck. Well, she said, "You the one that my husband spent the night with?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about?" I bags out of the passenger seat, out through the passenger door, backwards. She says at the back of the truck, "Itch, I'm gonna do this. Itch, I'm gonna do this." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She says something about, "My man stayed all night with you last night." I was like, "Your man ain't stayed all night with me. I have no clue what you're talking about or who the F you are."
Go ahead.
Bruce goes toward her. She swings this stick, and it hits the back of the truck, the top part of the truck. It hits the back of the truck.
Did she ever hit you?
No. No.
Never hit you? Did she
No.
ever hit Bruce?
No, she swung at him the first time with the stick, and that's where she hit the truck. She didn't hit him.
Did she eventually get back in her car?
Bruce tackled her some kind of way and kind of threw her in the car to where she was on her backside. Bruce was on top of her. She puts the car in drive that she's driving. She runs over Bruce's foot. She puts it back in reverse. She hits him, knocks him down, comes back forward where he has sit down flat, runs over his leg, tries to get out of the tunnel, couldn't get out, hung a U-turn and come back the other way to get out.
Was an ambulance called?
Yes, for Bruce.
Was he taken to the hospital?
No, he wouldn't go.
He's been run over 3 times, according to your story.
She ran over his foot, she hit him, knocked him down, came back forward, across him.
Okay, let's go.
I did not hit her truck. We was running around the truck.
What were you doing there?
I came to see who he was with.
Why?
Because I wanted to know.
You married to him?
No. But we've been together 11 years. I wanted to know.
Why were you angry with her?
What she's not telling is that I had called him on his cell phone, and we had our talk or whatever. He didn't turn his cell phone off. So I heard the whole conversation of what was going on, blase school, blase school. Okay.
So, what are you mad at her for?
I was mad at both of them.
What are you mad at her for?
Because she was with my husband.
Just a second. A, you don't have a husband.
Well, she was with my boyfriend.
Well, so you be mad at him? How do you know
I'm
what he
mad
told
at him
her?
too.
How do you know what he told her?
Okay.
How do you know what he told her?
I don't know what he told her then.
Right, so what are you mad at her for?
Okay, I'm not mad at her then.
And where did Bruce go on the 31st of August?
He went to work, I guess.
And did he come home?
Yeah, eventually.
So the two of you made up?
We made up eventually, but, you know.
He came home?
Yeah, he came home.
Can I see the damage to the truck, please?
And Judge Judy, there's another automobile, my truck, she damaged Monday night, this Monday night.
Just for my information, where was your car or truck that you damaged this past Monday night?
I stopped at my sister's before going home to get things together. It's like 8:45 p.m. Went into my sister's house, came back out about 5 minutes till 9. She approached me from behind this building. I had my 2-year-old by the hand. She walked in front of me. She says, "Now what? Now what? What about tomorrow?" I called my sister's name because she always watches us go to the automobile. I said, "Lauren, come get my baby." She stepped right out of the door, grabbed my baby. "Sandra, what's wrong?" I said, "Just get my baby." Then she sees Lynn. She says, "No, you got somewhere to go. You got a plane to catch. Come on in the house. We're going to call the police." When I come back out with the baby, after I gave the report with the police, come back out to get the baby, the police is in the parking lot next to my Ford Explorer, says, "Sandra, look, my tires are cut and my truck is keyed."
I'm not going to ask her to respond to that because this is a complaint that's still open. But I certainly think that if it's true, Ms. Cobb, if any part of it is true, that if you even saw her on Monday night, you're making a big mistake. Because you want to know something? Old Bruce isn't worth it.
Sure ain't.
I just want you to think. You have children?
Yeah.
How old are your children?
My children are grown.
Well, your grown children don't want to have to come and visit you in a lockup.
Right.
Ms. Cobb, I have to make a judgment, and I have to make a judgment that if someone is angry enough to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, go out in their car and search for their boyfriend, who they believe has been fooling around with somebody else, and they find them in a truck, that if I am to believe you, did absolutely nothing as a result of that. Now, Miss Stewart would seem to me is a relatively normal person. If you had hit her with this stick, as you suggest, rather than hitting your truck, there is no way that the police would have let you go. So I have to make a judgment whether I believe that you did nothing. And I don't believe that you did nothing. I believe that you did something. And I believe that you damaged the truck that she was driving in. Now, the rental car company is charging her for these marks that were made on the truck, $624.65, and I believe that you are responsible for that. And I'm going to reiterate, Ms. Cobb, you don't seem like a bad person.
Sworn in judge, you may be seated. Little people, have seats.
Mr. and Mrs. Musser, I've read your complaint very carefully, and I have read the response from the defendants. Because of the sensitive nature of some of the allegations in your complaint and in the answer, I'm going to ask the children leave the courtroom, because unless I absolutely need them, I don't think that they should be here. Tell me your name.
DJ.
How old are you, DJ?
6.
And who is this lady sitting with you?
My grandma.
Would you like to go outside with your grandma for a little while? Good. I think that's a good idea. And who is this?
Mackenzie.
And how old are you, Mackenzie?
6.
Are you a friend of DJ's? Do you live next door? I'm going to ask you to go out with DJ's grandma, okay? She's going to take the two of you outside. All right? Good. Beautiful children.
You okay?
Thank you. Okay. You had a puppy.
Yes, we did.
And I gather this was from a litter of puppies that you had.
Yes.
You decided to keep this puppy. It had some special medical problems, and you dealt with those medical problems and had some substantial vet bills. The little boy, DJ, is next door neighbor, and he lives with you?
He lives with me. I live with my parents.
And you're his grandfather?
Correct.
Here's Mom.
Yes.
And it is your allegation that DJ, when he was 5, is responsible for the death of your puppy while he was playing in your backyard.
Correct.
Which is a fenced-in backyard. It's your claim that he, either alone or with some other little children that he was playing with, put the puppy in a cooler and put a rock over the cooler, and the puppy must have suffocated.
Correct.
And you want the defendants to be responsible for the dog and to pay minimally all the vet bills that you had as a result of bringing your dog up until the point when she was killed, right?
Correct.
That's what the lawsuit is about.
Yes.
And I am going to assume, for the purpose of this trial, that it is true that DJ and or the little boys that he was with put the dog in the cooler. Not maliciously, because it's your claim that he was afraid the dog would get out of the fenced yard, and they just put the dog in the cooler in order to make sure that the dog didn't get away. I don't feel as if it's necessary to question this child about it, because I'm sure it's a very traumatic event. So I am going to assume for this trial that DJ did, in fact, cause the death of your dog. Do you both understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And then the question becomes responsibility. Are the defendants actually responsible for his actions? So I have a few questions for you. First, how old was your dog?
The dog was only a couple months old, maybe 3 at the most.
Well, you should know.
She was born on March 6th.
She was born in March, so it was...
Almost 3 months. She was like a week away from being 3 months.
And was this dog the only one you kept from the litter?
Yes.
I also believe that their dog fathered this litter. Is that right?
We're not sure who the father is.
What kind of dog was it?
I have a dachshund, and I have pictures of the puppy.
I'd like to see the picture. What were the medical problems with the puppy?
At first, the animal had suffered a broken leg, and these are pictures of the dog with the broken leg.
How did the dog suffer a broken leg?
Another neighbor child broke its leg, and they reimbursed us for the leg.
Another neighbor's child broke the leg?
Threw the puppy down because the puppy had got him dirty, and the mom felt responsible and reimbursed us for the payment of the leg.
This puppy did not have a good life. Now, did you allow the neighbor's children to come into your yard to play with the puppy?
He had come to my door one day and asked if he could play with the puppy, and I said, not with
You mean
her.
DJ?
Yes. And I said she had just gotten her cast off. I said, I don't want you guys in my yard unless I'm there, because I felt like if her leg was already sensitive after the cast was off, I was worried about it getting rebroken or something.
So you told him that?
Yes, I told him no.
And how much before the day that the puppy died did you have that conversation with the little boy?
About 3 days before.
Now tell me what happened on the day that you found the puppy in the cooler.
I had went out to dinner with a friend of mine, and my husband called me on my cell phone and said, I had actually put the puppy out back that day, because I had a Girl Scout meeting. And while the Girl Scouts were there, I said, "You can't be in the house. You're not potty trained yet." So I stuck her out because we have a fenced-in yard. Here's a picture of our yard. And I had put the puppy out back. And then my husband, after the Girl Scouts left, a friend of mine and we went to dinner. And my husband called me and said, "Have you seen Frosty?" And I said, "No. Can you please look for her? Maybe somebody had taken her," because a lot of people had thought she was cute in the neighborhood. And that's when he was looking for her. And
I'd come home earlier that day, just after the puppy was put out. And there were the neighborhood boys in our backyard playing with the puppy. When I came in, one of the boys left, and I had gone into the house to just relax after work. And hours later, after I'd gone outside to bring the dogs in, check on the kids that were out playing, we couldn't find the one dog. We looked around the neighborhood, couldn't find the animal. We talked to several neighborhoods, and nobody had seen the animal. When I'd gone into my backyard, I noticed a rock on top of my cooler.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Melissa and Raymond Musser claim neighbor Michelle Riffle's son killed their puppy when he put the dog in a cooler. Michelle says the puppy's death was an accident.
So, am I correct, Mr. Musser, that when you came home, you found some of the neighborhood children in your backyard?
Correct.
Did you tell them to leave?
No, I did not. At the time they were playing with the puppy, I didn't see any harm.
Was DJ one of those children?
Yes, he was, ma'am.
Now, what makes you think that this was an intentional act?
I don't think it was intentional, ma'am. And I don't think he did it to kill the puppy, and that's never been an issue. It was an accident. I'm sure the child did not know that this would result in the death of the puppy.
So, you, by permitting the children to remain there and not telling them to leave, actually gave them license to be playing with the dog.
Yes.
How many children were in the yard playing with the puppy?
When I first pulled in, there were 3.
DJ and 2 others?
Yes, ma'am. And when I had come in the gate, the one child went home. And so it was just DJ and another child left there.
About the same age, 5 years old?
Correct.
Okay. Now, who was responsible for supervising DJ on that day?
Raymond was.
Why would I be responsible for
No, don't speak, sir.
At the time that the death of the puppy, Lisa was watching my daughter and DJ when he came home from school from kindergarten after school until my mother returned home from work about 2 or 3 that afternoon.
So, Mrs. Musser was watching your child
She watched my daughter and DJ when he returned from kindergarten about 12 until my mother.
Had you made an arrangement with her to do that before?
Yes, I did.
Was this a regular routine? Do you pay her for that service?
Yes, since December of 2000.
Do you pay her for that service?
I did pay her.
So there was nobody in your house?
At about 3 o'clock, I don't know what time my mother came home. She's a witness today, so I don't know apparently what time she came home.
What day was this happened?
it happened on May 23rd, and I was not babysitting. I had quit before that. I had quit at the end of April, the 1st of May, because things were happening with the babysitting. I wasn't being paid on time, and I wasn't babysitting since December. It was January 1st.
And not only that, ma'am, I get off work at 4:30. It takes me an hour to get home. So I got home around 5:30, well after the time her mother was home.
Okay. Yes.
He just indicated, Your Honor, he came home early that day. He does normally come home about 4 or 5, but he indicated he came home early, saw the boys playing, so he
It
was
could have
home
been,
early.
so he got home at 3. Still after that time, your wife would have been home.
Correct.
So that somebody was home at that point. So you are mistaken that they were responsible for babysitting for
You're
your
right.
son. So your mother at that point was responsible for him. Is that right?
You're right, correct.
What time did you get home?
I usually got home about between 6:15 and 6:30, depending on the traffic.
And what time did you discover the puppy in the cooler?
It had to be around 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Now I'd like to see the bills that you have. How many other dogs do you have, by the way?
We have one.
Just one? Just
One.
a mother?
Mm-hmm.
And this little puppy?
Yes.
What did all the bills come to?
At the one point, we discussed that the bill would be taken care of by Mr. Riffle. We shook hands and made an agreement on $165. That was to take care of the major vet bill for this puppy, checkups, shots. But at one point, there was an agreement to pay $165. There was a handshake.
And what happened with that?
It never happened. What happened after that was he wanted receipts. Still nothing happened. The last time we discussed it, we went for a ride, and he wanted to pay $99 for the puppy and wanted me to have a letter rescinded or taken back, or an apology letter that was sent to him by another group of animal activists.
What kind of group of animal activists?
Your Honor, it's PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. We never accepted responsibility for the death of the puppy. We wanted it to end. The reason that I'm involved is I went to them and said, we're sorry about the death of the puppy. It's a cute puppy, looked just like his dad, just a darling puppy, and we were fond of that dog. And it was traumatic for us as well as for the boys to have that happen. I went to the Musters and I went to Raymond and said, Raymond, what can we do? And his initial response was, what we want you to do is I want the boys brought here and I want to tell them that was wrong. I was apprehensive about that, but I said I'd agree to do that. And as I started to leave, Raymond says, no, the best thing to happen is to have the parents talk to the boys and have all these boys write a letter of apology to Lisa. All 3 of those boys did that, and there is a correction. All 3 of those boys were there. If you saw the other boy leave, it's incorrect, because when my wife went out to get the boys, they're all in front of the house sitting on a rock, and I have some photographs of that. And so Raymond told me, we don't want any money for the puppy, we want an apology. They did that. All 3 of those boys cried that night.
You understand why I didn't want them in the room.
Thank you. All 3 of those little boys were and they were really upset that that happened, and they did that. One of the boys even took some flowers over. And so we thought the issue was over with. And then a couple days later, in a school gathering with people all around, Mrs. Muster approaches my daughter and says, we understand that your son intentionally killed that puppy, and we want $150.
Just a second. What made you think that he intentionally harmed the puppy?
I never said that. I said, the puppy died, we have expenses. I said, what can we do about it? She says, how much do you want? I said, 150 will cover what we had. And she said, will that keep you quiet then? And I said, sure. And then when I asked her about a week later, I said, are you going to pay me the 150 like you'd promised? She said, I didn't promise you I was going to pay you. I just said, would that keep you quiet?
All right, what?
Your Honor, that's incorrect.
All right, what happened
I
with
can
regard
tell you
to
what happened, because she did it to me. She approached me, and she stated that me and my husband need to talk to you. I said, about what? Well, we just found out DJ intentionally killed our puppy. I said it was an accident. She goes, putting a puppy in a cooler is an accident. She said, he's a 6-year-old boy. He doesn't understand that. I'm like, what do you want us to do? And she says, well, we sold the other puppies for $150. And I said, fine, because I did not want to deal with it with the parents there, the children there. I said, fine, turned around, she walked away. I was very shook up and very upset.
Of course. What's this thing from Peter? Just let's get to it quickly.
When Raymond indicated that he didn't think the boys intentionally killed the puppy, I went to him after this $150 incident at the school, and I said, Raymond, you told me you didn't want any money. We did what you asked us to do. Do you want money to compensate for the puppy? He again told me no. And as we got down the road, it became evident that they wanted some money for the puppy. In the meantime, we get a letter from PETA.
I see it, please.
And in the letter, it states, Your Honor, that they intentionally, without remorse, killed this puppy. We were heartbroken.
Now, what are you showing me here?
That was included in the letter
okay.
to
So
indicate
you got a letter.
that these poor 6-year-old children are going to be mass murderers.
Okay. All right, the letter's a little heavy, but what it says is, on May 22nd of this year, the boys apparently forced a neighbor's puppy into a cooler, weighted the lid down with bricks. We are told, and this is the people from PETA, that the children have admitted their roles in the puppy's death and that they have shown no remorse, which clearly, according to you, is not true. But then the bulk of the letter goes on to talk about the fact that children who have a history of torturing animals, unless there is intervention immediately, can grow up with serious antisocial characteristics, and therefore PETA is trying to inspire you to get help for your son if you need it. Because it says, by teaching your children compassion and empathy, you will help ensure that such incidents will not recur and that DJ and David will never find themselves in the system. It's a heavy letter. There's no question about that. They're really trying to be helpful in their own heavy way. Yeah, you can say something.
I have one more thing to say. This wasn't the first incident, not with him killing a puppy, but he had taken my daughter shoplifting, my little one, and we got a call from the store that they were shoplifting at, and my husband went and picked up Mackenzie from the store. It's like, we timed it on our car, it's almost a mile away from our house, and he had wrote me another apology note for taking her and not telling us where they were going, and that's why I was not babysitting when the puppy died, because I had it. I could not. We just had a lot of incidences with DJ and Mackenzie, and I just felt like it would be better just to...
They're 5-year-olds. 5-year-olds have to be supervised all the time, right?
Absolutely.
And clearly, at the time of this incident, your 5-year-old was not being supervised properly. That means that the person responsible, in this case your mother, who you left in charge of the child because it was when she was home from work, should have been watching more closely. as to where he was and what he was doing. But, Mr. Musser, if you came home and found the children playing with your puppy, because this is not clearly a locked fence, and told them to leave, and they did leave, and then they came back at some other point, I would find the defendants totally responsible. But by your allowing, despite the fact that your wife had said to the 5-year-old, you know, don't come in today and play with the puppy because a few days earlier, because the puppy's leg is just getting better, you clearly didn't have a problem with the boys playing with the puppy, because not only did you permit it, but you left, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you two are partially responsible, because just as they are responsible for the actions of their 5-year-old, you should be responsible for what goes on in your own backyard. In this case, you allowed these children to remain in your backyard and play with the puppy. And that despite the fact that your puppy had a broken leg by the hands of another little child playing a little too rough with the puppy, which was not smart. Don't you feel any responsibility at all?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Good.
But one other thing, you know, at the point the kids were all friends. I didn't see the harm. They weren't picking the puppy up.
Well, you didn't know that, sir. The moment that you saw them, they weren't picking the puppy up. But when you went into the house, you didn't keep your eye on them outside. Not only did you keep your eye on them, but you left. Listen, there's no question that the parents of this 5-year-old are partially responsible because he was inadequately supervised. But at the same token, you inadequately supervised this fragile puppy. So you are equally as responsible.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I have a curiosity why there were 3 boys involved and we're the only one here in court today.
I have no idea why you're the only ones here, sir. But you are the only ones here. And you have to take responsibility. There is a certain responsibility. Your wife should have been watching a 5-year-old out at play more carefully. And Mr. Musser should have been more vigilant about taking care of a small puppy, and he was not. And if the bills for this puppy added up to $165, I believe that you should each cover half of those bills, because each of you is responsible for not doing your jobs. Listen, stop showing me papers. More importantly, it seems that you live next door. You're going to continue to live next door. You have kids together, and despite the fact that you say, I don't want DJ to be around my daughter because he took her to the store and they were shoplifting, been there. You have to be more vigilant in watching your children. But you're going to be there, and it's a terrible thing to have to remain next-door neighbors and not be civil to each other. So he's a nice little boy. He'll probably grow up and graduate from high school and graduate from college and be just fine. And your little girl will be none the worse for wear for a little shoplifting when she was 4. All right, I'm sure she won't do it again. Be nice to each other, be friends, watch out for your property, and make sure that your children are supervised. That's all. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $82.50.
Matter of Jung versus LaChance.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. Be seated.
I usually don't like to prejudge things, Mr. LaChance, but I think that you're not a very honorable person. According to the complaint that I read, sir, you and the plaintiff were involved in a relationship. You thought it was going to be a solid one. You signed a lease on an apartment, correct?
Correct.
And after 3 weeks, the thing didn't work out.
Correct.
And you agreed that she would leave, and you would stay in the apartment.
I was staying in the apartment, yes.
And when you were staying in the apartment, according to the plaintiff, you were staying with someone whose name was?
Jacob Canuck.
You were staying with someone whose name was Jacob. And when she left, according to her, Jacob was paying her half of the rent so that you weren't out any additional money. Then, according to the plaintiff, you told her you were moving out of the apartment. So far correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And she didn't want to ruin her credit, so she picked up the rent and paid the rent, right?
Yes, ma'am.
When she goes to the apartment to get something, she sees all your stuff there because you had moved back in. But you let her pay the rest of the rent, believing that he was out of the apartment.
Yes, ma'am.
Your excuse is that you were forced to pay the rent yourself for 7 months because of her, and therefore you decided that she should pay the rest of the rent.
Her name's on that lease. She's just as liable as I am.
Mr. LaChance, in what month did you sign the lease?
We signed that in May of 2006.
And she left in May of 2006.
She left June 2nd, 2006.
6/2. Did she pay May's rent?
Actually, I paid it.
You mean you paid it alone?
I paid it alone, yes.
Why is that?
I had recently come into some money at about the end of April playing online poker. It's what we used to move out here. It covered all our moving trucks.
So you paid the May rent?
Correct.
Okay. Now, when did Jacob move in?
Jacob was with us from the beginning.
And how much was the rent in the apartment?
$569 a month.
And how much was Jacob paying?
He was not paying for any of the rent.
And how long did you let him stay?
He stayed until November.
So you're telling me you did not try to find another roommate between June and November because you were letting Jacob stay there rent-free?
Correct.
Now I'm going to respond to your statement.
Okay.
The reason you had to pay the rent is because your behind was sleeping in the apartment. Hers was not. And you had a roommate who should have been paying half the rent.
From July till November, he was never home. It was predominantly a storage space for his stuff. I helped him out every now and then.
Then
He
it's
was
your
never,
responsibility, sir, to find another roommate.
I was unable to find another roommate.
Show me what efforts you made to find another roommate.
I had friends at work. I
Now
tried
let's
to
go
make
a
some
little
kind
further, Mr. LaChance.
I don't
When
have
did you?
anybody
I'm
in
speaking
town.
to you. When did you call Miss Jung and tell her that you were moving out of the apartment?
I was finally able to get a hold of her. It would have been end of November.
And you told her you were moving out in December?
Yes, ma'am.
And had you paid November's rent?
At that point,
It's not an answer, sir. Did you pay November's rent?
November was paid, yes.
Fine. And you moved out in December?
Yes, ma'am.
And you paid December's rent?
Yes, ma'am. It was actually a lot more. Okay.
So you called her and let her know that you were moving out in December, and if she wanted to keep her credit, she better start paying the rent.
Yes, ma'am.
When did you move back to the apartment, Mr. LaChance?
I moved back in January of 2007.
So you were out of the apartment for 1 month.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you call and tell her you moved back?
I was unable to get a hold of her.
Did you call and
I
tell
called.
her you moved back into the apartment?
I called, yes.
So that I assume you paid January's rent.
I did not pay January's rent.
I assume you paid February's rent.
I did not pay February.
That's why I told you when we started this case that I thought your behavior was abominable because it was dishonest, totally dishonest. Moving out is one thing. Saying, listen, I'm moving out of the apartment. Your name's on the lease, my name's on the lease. I lived here for the last few months, so I paid the rent. But now I'm moving out, just like you moved out. So I think if we want to both keep our credits intact, maybe you don't need it, because if you make a living doing online poker, maybe you don't need your credit intact. She does. So maybe we should just join forces, pay this lease out, whatever. But that's not what you did. You were able to contact her when you wanted to move out. But when you moved back and knew that she was going to be paying the rent and you were going to be living there rent-free, then you couldn't contact her. That's not very nice, sir. Now, when did you find out he was still living there?
I had the locks changed March 26th, and he called
So
me.
you paid December, January, February, and March?
Yes, ma'am. I also paid April.
And April. When did you go and check the apartment?
Well, I moved back to Florida, and the apartment's in Texas, so I couldn't just go there. So I was talking through the apartment complex, and I said, I want to have the locks changed because I believe someone's still living there.
What made you think someone was still living there?
Because once he stopped paying the electric bill, it went back into the apartment's name, so they were getting the bill, and she was sending it to me. So if there's electric, someone's living there. So I said, I would like to have the locks changed. I paid the $25, and I got a call from Raymond that night saying...
I'm an authorized tenant in that place. There was no reason to have me
Mr.
locked out.
LaChance, don't you understand? You did something that was amoral, dishonest, dishonest. Don't you get it?
To me, dishonest was leaving 3 weeks into the lease.
No, Mr.
She committed
LaChance,
herself
that's
for a year.
ridiculous, sir. You weren't getting along. I don't even care why you weren't getting along. You were dishonest. You said, I'm moving out, and then you moved back without telling her. And the only time you contacted her again, and you were able to contact her again, you said, I couldn't call and tell her I was moving back because I couldn't contact her. So you were able to call her when you were moving out, and you were able to call her after she changed the locks. But you couldn't call her that critical time to tell her you were moving back into the apartment. She didn't have to pay the rent anymore.
I had left voicemails. I had sent
Listen to
messages.
me. Dishonest. What kind of work do you do?
I am a waiter at a restaurant.
What else do you do?
I play online poker.
Dishonest. So you owe her for rent for 5 months. You also owe her for the electricity while you were there. How much?
It was $2,100.
Now, it's my understanding from your complaint that you have a witness who was able to testify that for the first few months after you left, the rent was paid.
Yes, ma'am.
Call the witness.
I would like Jacob Knudsen to come out.
You swear to tell the truth in these matters?
Yes, sir.
State your name for the record, please.
Jacob Knudsen.
Okay. Do you live in the apartment with Mr. LaChance from June until December?
I left early November, but yes, June is correct.
When you were there in June, July, August, September, and October, those 5 months, did you contribute to the rent?
Most of the time. The only month that I was not able to contribute to my full share of the rent was the beginning of October, due to the fact that I lost my job.
I don't care why you didn't contribute in the month of October. You didn't contribute in the month of October. Yes. You paid rent in June?
Yes.
How much?
$285, my half.
And you gave that to him in check or cash?
Cash.
That was June. What about July?
Yes.
You paid him in July?
Yes.
August?
Yes.
The full amount, to either
$285, yes.
What about September?
September, yes.
But not October?
No.
And what happened in November?
November, I was still out of work, and I contacted my mother and borrowed $400 from her in order to pay my half at the beginning of November. I have a Western Union voucher right here.
Can I see it, please?
Yes. The Western Union voucher that states that I got $400 from my mother in order to pay my half of the bills.
So if Mr. LaChance said that you were there and you stayed there sporadically,
I was not home very much, yes.
and that you did not pay any rent to him at all, would that be the truth or a lie, sir?
A lie.
And you were his friend?
Yes.
Who do you know longer?
I know them both about the same amount of time.
But you stayed with him?
Yes.
When she left?
Yes, in order to help him with the bills.
Perfect. Good. Anything else you want to say to me? Anybody? Perfect. You owe her $2,100, Mr. LaChance, because you're a dishonest person. Because you're a dishonest person, I'm dismissing your counterclaim for half of the expenses for the time that it is clear that you had help with the rent, because that's what your counterclaim is mainly about. You will always come into contact with people, Mr. LaChance, in this life that are smarter than you are. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You must step out.
I was very depressed. I didn't like the way he was leaving me every night.
She was away from her family. She didn't have a job. I did my best to comfort her.
Instead of comforting me like he said he did, he never did. He just left and went out drinking and with other girls.
I had made some other friends. I was trying to introduce her to a new life. She wouldn't have it.
We went to the bar one night and he invited the girl that he had been seeing and said he would pay for her drinks.
All I wanted to do was show up here and tell the truth. I didn't want to take sides in this situation because they're both my friends.
I paid for my 7 months. It's her turn.
The fact of the matter is one's lying and one's not. And I guess today we found out who was.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Riskin versus Robinson. Step forward.
26-year-old Noah Riskin is suing his ex-girlfriend, 22-year-old Lindsay Robinson, for her share of a backpacking trip through Europe. Lindsay claims the trip was a gift.
Mr. Riskin, Miss Robinson used to be your girlfriend.
Correct.
And it is your claim that you took a backpacking trip to Europe.
Yes.
And you advanced some money for Miss Robinson, who was supposed to pay you back.
Correct.
Miss Robinson says the trip was a treat, your treat, and there was never any discussion about paying you back for the trip. And she is counterclaiming. She alleges you have some property of hers, a baby book, and she wants some punitive damages because she says you are stalking her. How long were you a couple?
For 7 months.
From when to when?
From mid-June, I believe it was, up until Valentine's Day.
And when was the trip?
We left on January 20th, returned February 19th.
So you were really a couple from June until January, because when I understand from reading your papers that when you took this trip, you each went your own way for a good part of the trip. You traveled independently. It wasn't a romantic getaway for the two of you, right?
Correct.
You didn't live together, did you?
We did.
You were living together?
Yes.
You had enough of each other from June to January. You wanted to be a little separated?
My intention of going to England and Scotland was to backpack to go as many places as I could. Lindsay told me that she wanted to get a feel for life out there and stay in York for a week or two.
Wonderful. Terrific. How come you advanced the money?
Lindsay came up to me after the tickets were purchased, said that she had talked to some friends of her back home, and they told her that she needed roughly $1,000 American dollars per week, conversion rate being about 51 cents per pound. I'm sorry, $1 per 51 pence.
Please, let's move on.
She did not have that money. I offered a loan.
I asked you what was said. Don't say I said to her, I will give you a loan. I want to hear what was said by her and what was said by you. Do you understand? And if it doesn't sound right, it's usually not true, Mr. Riskin. You get it?
I do.
Good.
So I went ahead and loaned her the $2,500.
Okay, Miss Robinson, since he can't get it together, I want you to tell me how it came about that you, A, took money from him for the tickets, and B, took money from him for spending. I think it was $2,500.
Yes.
Tell me how it came about.
He told me he was going. I told him I couldn't go with him. He asked me to go. I said
I want you to keep your voice up and speak slowly so that I can hear you.
Okay. He said he was going to Europe on a backpacking trip. I said, I can't go with you. I was going to use the month to move out anyway. He said, go with me, go with me.
You were going to use the what? I don't hear you. Okay, Miss Robinson, I want you to tell me how it came about that you took money from him for the tickets and took money from him for spending.
The month that he was going, I said I'm going to move out and see where it goes from there. So
look at me.
I told him to let me know when he bought the tickets and I would make a decision because he kept asking and asking. So when I called him, he said he bought 2 tickets. I'd said no and he bought the ticket anyway. As far as money goes, I told him, well, I still don't have the money to go, and he offered to give me money for that too. We went to the bank together. He deposited it into my account.
What's wrong with you?
I listened to him, I guess.
No, you didn't listen to him, I guess. If you were not happy with him and if you were moving out, why did you take all that money from him?
Because
why?
Because I thought he was doing a nice thing. He told me it was going to be a gift, and I believed him. And he told me he didn't want the money back.
That's not my question to you. I'm talking about being a moral person. Let's say I believe you, which I'm not sure I do. Let's say I believe you. Why would you, since you knew that he was anxious for you to go, since you knew that he was anxious for you, perhaps not to break up this relationship that you had had for 7 months, why would you, knowing what you knew, take money from him? Because as soon as you came back, you broke up, right? Right?
Before we got back, we broke up.
Well, before, but you already got yourself there on his ticket, and you already had $2,500 of his money.
Yeah.
Well, that's wrong.
I know. I know. I thought it was something that it wasn't, and I should have listened to my gut. I thought we had an understanding, and we didn't.
What kind of understanding?
We discussed it before, and we had the understanding that it wasn't going to be romantic, that we were both going to go our separate ways, and that it was a gift. Because I told him I couldn't go over and over, and he insisted that he wanted to do something nice for me. He called my dad and told him about it. He told my best friends about it. Knowing that we would break up, he told them that. And so I thought we had an understanding.
I want to tell you something. If it doesn't make sense, it's usually not true. What nice thing had you done for him?
I don't know. I was with him. I mean...
Well, he was with you. You mean that's a gift that you were with him?
We just had...
What kind of spectacular thing do you have that other people don't have?
Nothing.
Huh?
Nothing.
Nothing. I didn't think so. I mean, what do you bring to the table that millions of other people don't bring? Why in the world would you think that he would invest a whole bunch of money in taking you away if he didn't think that by doing that, perhaps you could rekindle your relationship?
That's what he did think. I know it is.
Then you did the wrong thing by taking it, knowing that it wasn't going to work.
I didn't... Okay.
How much was the ticket?
The ticket was $531.
And how much cash did you give her?
$2,500.
Okay. Forget the incidentals. You're lucky we're going where we're going. Do you understand? I'm going to hear your counterclaim. And I must tell you, Miss Robinson, I have other things to do today. You want your baby book back?
I want my... Yes.
Why did you take her baby book?
The baby book was actually left. When she had moved out, she left everything that she did not want. A number of magazines, old shoes, etc. that she did not want. She just left them for me to clean up. I found them, and I did notify her that I had these items. She has not made any effort to pick them up for me, to send anyone to pick them up. I still have them.
What are they?
A baby book and a childhood photo album that I saved from the trash pile.
Why did you leave them?
That's not true. First of all, I got home and all my stuff was on the porch the same night we got back. He locked me out so that I couldn't get in and took my key. Everything that was on the porch, I took. Everything that wasn't mine, like the magazines, I left there, yeah, because he threw it all on the porch. So
on what date?
That would be the 19th, the night of the 19th, the night we got back.
What else?
He basically, after the breakup, I don't know what happened, but he became very different. He would show up at my work at least twice a week. And
yes? And what?
And just hover around. He would pull friends out of work and tell them about everything that happened between us, and...
No, get over it. You owe him $3,031. Your counterclaim's dismissed. That's all.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Virgin, your son is currently incarcerated. Is that correct?
Yes, he is.
And he's incarcerated already having been sentenced, and his sentence, according to you, is 20 years?
Yes.
What was he convicted of?
Aggravated robbery case that he wasn't involved in.
According to your complaint, you hired the defendant and paid the defendant $500 because he promised you... $550. Because he promised you that within a year, through his efforts, he would get your son out of jail.
Yes.
And according to you, he did nothing and you want your money back.
Yes.
Defendant says he did accept $550 because of his expertise. There were no guarantees of anything. And as it happens, he was not even hired to process an appeal for your son, but to try to get some money back for lawyers that you had paid over the course of your son's trials and appeals. How did you meet him?
Through my daughter. My daughter was talking about my son's case on her job, and one of her co-workers overheard her talking about the case, and she told her that she knew a person who could help get my son out of prison.
Step up, please. Tell me your last name.
Smith.
Did you make contact with the defendant, Miss Smith? Did you personally, or did your mother?
My mother.
So tell me, Miss Virgin, about the conversation that you had with the defendant when you called him.
Well, when I called him, he gave me his address, and I met with him at his house.
At his house?
At his house.
He didn't have a place of business?
No.
Go ahead.
I met with him at his house, and he told me that he's done other cases like this, and he could guarantee that he would have my son out by this time next year.
Now, Mr. Hobbs, what kind of work do you do, sir?
I'm a consultant, Your Honor.
What kind of consultant?
I'm a political consultant.
What do you mean, a political consultant? Who are your clients?
My clients are people who are running for office, who are running for judge, who are running for political office, Congress, and all over.
And how long have you been doing this sort of work, sir?
Almost 8 years.
Tell me your version of the conversation.
The conversation went like this. Do you want me to start at the beginning, Your Honor?
Yes.
She contacted me on a Sunday. She was desperate, and I told her to come on over. She said, Mr. Hobbs, I have 5 attorneys that owe me money. And I said, you know, if we would talk to them, Ms. Virgin, we'd probably get our money back. They don't want to see you in court or nothing like that. I say, maybe I can. Let me call them and contact them. Got on the phone. She was on the phone with me. I called 3 ways. I said, Mr. So-and-so, you have took $2,000 from Miss Virgin. She needs her money back, or she needs an appeal filed from her. He said he would have the appeal filed Tuesday of next week, or he would send her money back. I called back that Tuesday. The appeal had not been filed. He was not finished with it. She was angry. I called back the following week. He did not have the appeal. I said, this is what we'll do. Send her half of her money back for the work that you've done already, which is $1,000, and we'll present that to Ms. Virgin so she could go get another attorney, which she wanted. I took her to the best appeals attorney, they say, quote unquote, in Texas. We sit down 2 hours and talk to this attorney. He asked her, do you want to go ahead with this appeal? This is going to cost you $5,000. She said, yes. As soon as we get the money from the other lawyer, we'll come and hire you. Your Honor, I had did my job. She asked me to do something, and I did that. The attorney did never send her money or her appeal.
Ms. Virgin, Mr. Hobbs indicates that the conversation was not about getting your son out of jail. The discussion that you had to do with getting some money back from one appeals lawyer so that you could pay another appeals lawyer. Does that sound familiar to you?
He told me that he knew people who could help him get my son out of prison within a year.
Your Honor, with all the respect I have for her, I would not ever in my life tell anybody in the United States or outside the United States that I could get a 20-year sentence and get her son out the state penitentiary in a year.
He told me he's done it for other people.
Your Honor.
That's the only reason why I gave him the $550.
Your Honor, I did not tell her that.
Did you, in fact, participate in a 3-way telephone conversation with the defendant and the old lawyer that never filed the brief?
Yes, I did.
When you sat down with the other appellate lawyer, did you discuss with him the process that had gone on so far?
Yes, I did.
Did Mr. Hobbs participate in that conversation?
Yes.
How many hours in total, Miss Virgin, do you think Mr. Hobbs spent with you?
3.
How many hours do you think he spent reading over the transcripts, etc.?
45 minutes.
So that's 4 hours. I want to know, sir, what particular expertise do you have with regard to reading over transcripts, making a determination as appeals? Do you have any legal training?
No, ma'am. My quest is getting the lawyer to do her thing, the best lawyer that we can, on a reasonable price. Miss Virgin do not have no money. She do not have money to pay me.
I gather, Mr. Hobbs, that both Miss Smith and her mother needed a spokesperson.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is really what you were hired for.
No, Miss Judy, I was hired to get her a good appeals lawyer.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jacqueline Virgin says political consultant Tommy Hobbs promised to get her son released from jail. Jacqueline says her son is still incarcerated and she wants a refund.
Did you finally get somebody to process an appeal for your son?
Yes, I got a lawyer named Charles.
Did you pay this lawyer any money, Miss Virgin?
Not yet.
And I told her not to.
Why is that?
Judge Judy, she sent me to the streets to find out about her son. She introduced me to a fellow named... This is one of the guys who was in the game, the one that had the gun. I got to the other two guys, the neighbors, who were teenagers at that particular time. These two guys, these are bump and jack guys.
What is bumping jack?
Bumping jack means any old lady, old man you catch coming out the apartment who had just got off an airplane, they bump and jack them. They beat them up and take their money.
Got it, beat them up.
Come to find out, her son's nickname in the streets is Bat.
What? Bat?
Bat, like a bat, a baseball bat. He was the gang leader.
Is what you're telling me, Mr. Hobbs, that she gave you certain information and you went out to try to find that out in the street?
And give it back to the attorney that we were going to hire.
Did Mr. Hobbs ever talk to you about the fact that he had gone out and spoken to these prospective witnesses and what they told him?
No, he didn't speak to anybody. He just took my money and didn't want to refund it.
Judge Judy.
Yeah.
Stays across the bayou from me. She begged me to go over and talk to him.
Did you?
Yes, ma'am, I did. Okay. Mr. is the one that had the gun.
You went to see this Mr. Mr. tells you that he was the one with the gun.
Right.
Not Miss Virgin's son.
Right, and he wanted to testify in court to that.
Okay.
So I told him, no, you're going to have to come to the appeal court that lawyer we're going to hire to give him this statement. Can you give an affidavit to me? Didn't see the guy no more. Then I caught up with him on the streets.
And?
Bat, her son, is the one, is the guy.
Is the guy that what?
He's the one that goes and rents the hotel.
So Miss Virgin's son was involved in some way in this robbery that took place?
Ma'am, yes. That's my opinion.
That was what you were told?
Yes, ma'am. Bat would go get his neighbors, these two brothers. They go to the hotel.
And what did they do with the hotel?
They rented the hotel to set up for what they was going to do.
Explain it to me.
Old lady walks out her apartment, okay?
Apartment or the hotel?
Out the hotel. Goes down the streets, right?
From the hotel?
Anywhere, go and get something to eat, right. They bump and jack her.
Miss Virgin says that her son was convicted of an aggravated robbery.
Yes, ma'am.
From what you tell me, a bump and jack is you bump somebody and you take their money and run. That's not an aggravated robbery.
If you have a weapon in it.
Yes. So somebody had a weapon.
Yes, ma'am.
What?
Your Honor, my son was involved in an aggravated robbery case that he didn't commit because he was put into a lineup as an extra, picked out as the victim in an unjust system because this is a case that he can't erase. He was put in jail without bail.
Miss Virgin, let me ask you this question. How old was your son when he was arrested?
He was
20.
18. No, he was 20. He was 20 years old. He's
now
been
I want you to listen to
me.
I want you to listen to me very carefully. Prior to this arrest, how many times had your son been arrested?
My son had been arrested one time.
Before this?
Before this.
As an adult or as a juvenile?
As a juvenile.
For what?
For a possession case.
Possession of what?
What was it? Cocaine. Not cocaine, it was
What, Mr. Hobbs, do you know?
I think it was a weapon.
It wasn't coke. It wasn't a weapon. It was not a weapon.
Well, why don't y'all tell her the truth?
He had some crack. He was arrested for crack on him.
Sale.
To sell?
Yes.
Not to sell.
To use?
He said he was holding it for a friend.
Miss Virgin, listen to me. I believe that you are a mother who is pretty desperate. Who was pretty desperate.
Your Honor, I am not
Just
desperate.
listen. Yes, you are. You're a mother who's pretty desperate. She would like her son out of jail.
I would like him out of jail because he's innocent.
Okay.
He had 8 witnesses at the trial stating where he was at the time of the
Evidently,
robbery.
nobody believed
And,
him. Miss Virgin, that's not up to me to determine.
Your Honor.
This case has to do with whether Mr. Hobbs did the job that he was hired to do, and that was to try to get some money back from you, from lawyers.
He
who
wasn't
had-
hired
I'm
to get
speaking.
the money, to get the money back.
I'm speaking that he was hired to do the job of trying to get some money back and get an appeals going so that your son at least had a shot of an appeals process that would result in his being exonerated of these charges. And I find that he did sufficient work to warrant the $550 that you paid him. Your case is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He told me that he could get my son out of jail by this time next year.
She doesn't realize what she has as a son.
He said that he had done it for other people.
She's a good lady. She just wants her son back.
I should have won the verdict.
She's already had one nervous breakdown. She needs to get on with her life.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Hayden Grapple versus Hayden Kennedy Lyons. Step forward, please.
Cindy Hayden and her son, 16-year-old Anthony Kreppel, are suing Cindy's brother, Rick Hayden, his girlfriend, Lila Kennedy, and Lila's son, 16-year-old Nicholas Lyons. Cindy says during a road trip, Nicholas assaulted her son.
All right, let's deal with this in short order if we can. Miss Hayden, the defendant is your brother, Mr. Hayden.
Yes.
Co-defendant is a friend of yours, or was a friend of yours,
Yes.
Miss Kennedy. And according to your complaint, you wanted to bring Miss Kennedy to meet your brother.
Correct.
And you arranged to go with your children and Miss Kennedy's children to where your brother lives, which was some distance away in another state.
Yes.
On sort of a road trip / vacation, whatever. So far correct?
Correct.
And you say that while there, your son and the defendant's son got into some sort of an altercation, and your son was assaulted.
Yes.
Miss Kennedy said she's not taking you back. You're not all going back in the same car. Make your own arrangements to get home.
Correct.
So you are suing for 2 things. For the expenses that you had to get home.
Correct.
And you are suing them also on behalf of your son for whatever injuries he sustained as a result of this altercation with the defendant's son.
Correct.
That's what the case is about. What makes you think they're responsible to provide transportation for you home after this argument that got physical with the 2 boys?
For the simple fact, when we left on this trip, it was a trip paid for there and back.
By whom?
By my brother Rick. He had sent me money for gas to get there and sent Miss Kennedy money before we left to get home on.
I paid for the trip, Your Honor, but she spent her share of the money on marijuana before she
I don't care
made
whether
her
she
trip.
spent her share on marijuana. It doesn't make any difference. He sent gas money.
No.
He sent gas money. You're not entitled to any money for your return trip. Forget that.
Okay.
Now tell me about the fight that happened between your son and the defendant, Miss Kennedy's son.
Lila and I was arguing over the money situation, that I had paid for a haircut. She said I didn't. It was minute. The next thing I know, Lila grabbed me in a headlock. As I was in my headlock and I was looking over, I seen that in the doorway there was my brother, Rick, my son, and also Nick Lyons. Well, my brother Rick had my son held by both of his arms. He was behind him and had him held by both of his arms, while Nick Lyons was punching my son in the chest with his fist.
So you called the police?
Yes.
What kind of injuries did you have, young man?
Well, I got a knot on my chest. It caused a bunch of bruising, and they said that this knot will probably be here for about a year or so.
A knot?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'd like you to tell me your version of what happened that day. Why don't you tell me what happened?
All the yelling and everything was going on, and Tony, he went after my mom, and I was defending my mom, basically.
Was she holding this lady?
No,
in
that
the
didn't happen until me and her son got into it, and I had him on the floor holding him down, and then she jumped on my back, threw me in a headlock herself, and had me to the point where I couldn't breathe, and I was turning purple in the face, and she grabbed her off of me, and that happened, and she had her back up against the wall, and me and Tony continued at it.
Did he hit you at all?
Not that I can remember.
But you hit him?
Yeah.
How many times?
Once in the face, and that was it, and I kneed him in the chest.
It was pretty
Once
much
in
a
the face.
wrestling match.
What?
It was pretty much just a wrestling match, and there was nobody holding anybody except Lila holding Cindy, because Cindy, after they ended up on a wrestling match on the floor, Cindy jumps on his back, clawing him at the face, choking him, screaming and yelling and calling him dirty names.
You mean over haircut money?
She wanted to go home. The whole arrangement was that Cindy called. I hadn't talked to her for years because she's been a parasite in the family for years. She's done this to everybody in the family. Every time she goes somewhere, she turns it into a big melee mess. So I thought, well, give her one more chance. She's your sister. You know, it's Thanksgiving. Bring her down here, see if she's changed. Well, she changed all right.
Okay. She wanted to go home.
After she started threatening Lila's life because Lila wouldn't take her home when she wanted to go because she ran out of her drugs. And she wouldn't leave it alone. Every time I would leave the room, she would go back in there. And the last time, when I finally got fed up, she told Lila, just wait till I get you home if you make it that far. So then Tony attacks Lila and starts screaming and went after Lila. I tried to separate
Does that sound
them.
right to you?
Actually, I was telling Lila that it was true. My mom paid for the haircut that Nick had.
So you were arguing with Lila?
Yeah, and then Nick came up
Loud?
behind me. Yeah, we were arguing pretty loud.
Loud? You were yelling at her?
Yeah, she was yelling at me and yelling at my mom.
How old are you?
16.
How old is she? Older. She's a mother. She has a child your age. Is that right?
Yeah.
So what were you doing yelling at her?
I was defending my mom.
Your mother looks like she can defend herself. Your lawsuit's dismissed. You had a fight, you had an argument, you were all involved with it. It got physical, which is outrageous for the adults to become involved with a physical argument. Now you want to be compensated for that, plus the ride home?
Hanson Shirey. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
The four of you know each other from high school, I assume, according to what I've read in your complaint, have known each other and disliked each other since high school.
Me and Sunny have known each other.
The two girls?
Yes.
According to your complaint, you were all out at the bar, out in the parking lot. Each of you claimed that the other assaulted you, and you, right?
Correct.
Okay. What day did this happen?
About 1 o'clock in the morning on the 21st of April.
And was the defendant there already when you arrived?
Yes.
Did you have any words with the defendant that day?
She said hi to me at the bar and asked me how I was, and I said I'm fine. And he got a drink, and we went back and played pool.
What happened next?
Well, we were only there for a little while playing pool. Then we walked outside, me and Chris and my friend Melanie, and I was unlocking the car door, and this girl over here walked up to me and asked me, do you have a problem with my girlfriend Sunny? Because we'd had an argument a couple months before. I said, no, I don't have a problem. And Sunny came up from around behind me and slugged me in the back of the head.
That's not true.
Shh. I didn't ask you anything yet. Go ahead.
Then her friend came over, and another gal, I don't know who she was, and they were hitting me and punching me, so I started to fight back, and I had the keys in my hand, and they were pulling my hair and pushing me, and I started...
Who's they?
Sunny and her two girlfriends. And
That's still a lie.
Now sit down. Sit! In a chair. Now maybe you understand. Go ahead.
And as I was hitting her, Jason came over from behind. I felt 3 hard blows in the back of my head, and I turned around and he socked me in the eye. And then they took off. I have pictures of my injuries, too.
I will look at the pictures. Did you call the police?
Yes, I did.
You have the police report?
Yes. Here's the pictures of my eye, and then some of her friends were grabbing him and trying to pull him away from helping me.
When she first got attacked, I grabbed her, I turned her this way, and I pulled her down and covered her head. And a couple of girls were trying to pull me off of her. And I don't know if I'm not sure if it was Jason, but he had like three of his male friends there. And they're trying to pull us off, and I got hit in the head probably 8 times. And I got some scratches on my neck.
Here's the police report, too.
Who do you claim hit you in the face, giving you the black eye?
Jason.
I never
Jason.
touched her.
Yes.
What part of don't speak don't you understand?
Sorry.
My friend Melanie saw him hit me in the head, too, several times.
Other than the scratch on the back of your head, did you have any injuries, Mr. Hoyt?
No, I had a lot of knots on the back of my head.
Step up. I have a few questions. You were with them that evening?
Yes, I was.
So this young lady comes up and said, do you have a problem with my friend?
Mm-hmm.
Describe exactly what you saw after that.
They were arguing back and forth. I don't remember what the words that they were saying, but I just remember it started getting heated, and I saw people punching her in the back of the head. I went to go and try to stop the fight or something, and they had somebody stand in front of me saying, just let him fight, and she was like standing in front of me like this.
Nobody that's here today?
No.
All right, Sonny, tell me your version of the events.
Well, it actually all started in high school. I was your classic nerd, I guess. I was involved in
Okay, so you were the nerd, they were the popular one. I got that. So
Yeah.
you didn't like her, she didn't like you.
And
whatever.
I hadn't seen her since high school until the night of March 31st, that I can recall anyway. We were up at the same bar. I was playing pool against her husband, and I was about to shoot in the 8-ball and win the game, and she was sitting behind me and hauled off and kicked me in the leg. And I actually have an affidavit if you'd like to see it from my friend that was
so
there.
that was a month before?
Yes.
You also say in your answer that she made some sort of a derogatory remark about your engagement ring.
Yeah, after she kicked me, I turned around and asked her, you know, what was going on, and she said nothing. So I turned around, walked away, went and sat down. I was getting up to get another drink, and I walked by, and Chris, her husband, held up his ring and started saying, oh, look at the size of the diamond in this ring, and started making fun of my engagement ring, saying that the diamond in my ring was really
Never
small.
lie. Never lie, especially if it's not really important but just sets a tone. Was your fiance there at the time?
Yes, it was.
Shh, just a second. Your fiance was there at the time when you say that her husband was making not nice remarks about the size of your engagement ring.
Yes.
I assume he was really angry.
Oh, Jason?
Yes, Jason.
He
I would get really angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
I mean,
angry.
let's all tell the truth here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got very angry. 'Cause,
Okay, so that's a month before. Now we turn to April 21st at 1 o'clock in the morning.
We were having drinks. I saw Colette walk in. We happened to be up at the bar at the same time getting a drink. I did say hi, asked her how she was, sat back down. I thought maybe, you know, our problems were over with and we could just have a nice evening at the bar, but evidently not. So closing time came. We went to leave the bar, but Shay actually walked out of the bar first. So if she could tell her story.
Why don't you come up and tell me your side of the story? Your last name is?
Burton.
Now, Miss Burton, you walked out first.
Yes.
And you walked up to where the plaintiff was getting into her car.
Yes.
What did you say to her?
I asked her why she was harassing my friend.
Now, that night, I haven't heard anything about harassment. She said hello. She said hello. Case closed.
My girlfriend Sarah and I were walking out of the bathroom, and she stepped in front of me, and then I looked at her like, you know, why? And then she stepped back and she made some remark under her breath. Well, then I watched her, and she was watching us and pointing at us, going around the bar. I was just like, why does she have a problem? So I went up to ask her, you know, why we were so important.
Why didn't you go up to ask her in the bar where there were other people? Why?
We were leaving when I decided to ask her.
Why?
It was time to go.
And then what happened?
Before I could ask her or get a response, she swung at me twice, and I defended myself.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Colette Hoyt says former high school classmate Sonny Hansen assaulted her outside a bar. Sonny says Colette, a high school bully, started this fight too.
So what did you do?
Sonny went to break it up, so I didn't get hit.
Sonny went to break what up?
She
It wasn't
went,
a fight.
She made sure I wasn't getting hurt again.
How did she do that?
She just stepped in between and tried to stop Colette.
And then Colette swung at me
with a handful of keys.
Yeah, and hit me in the face, and I have this scarring right here. I have pictures of the injuries as well, if you'd like to see those.
I would.
And then I saw her husband throw Sonny up against the car.
You saw her husband what?
He threw Sonny up against the car.
Why would you think he would throw Sonny up against the car?
I have no idea.
If
Sonny
Sonny
and
was
her
the...
were starting to fight.
I'm not talking to you! You lost your talking privileges until I call you. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, she attacked me. She had keys in her hands. I went to defend myself. I was trying to curl down so she'd quit hitting me in the face, because we were actually scheduled on Sunday to go down and get photo invitations for our wedding. And now even I think my wedding pictures here in 5 weeks are going to reflect the scarring on my face from a fight that I didn't even want to be a part of.
What were you a part of it for?
I stepped in.
What were you a part of it for? I believe her when she said that somebody hit her. I believe her. I believe that there was absolutely no basis for you to go outside and have any conversation with her at all. And everybody just then came all around. There were a lot of people that were hitting. There were a lot of people that were hitting. Now I'm going to hear from Big Mouth. Only because I have to, because you're a party to this proceeding. Go ahead. You came out with whom?
I came out with Sonny.
Just a second. You came out with Sonny, alone, just the two of you.
Just the two of us.
There were several other guys there, too.
There weren't any other guys.
There wasn't any.
There was 3 other guys. One guy was so nuts, he took off his friggin' coat and was going, yeah, yeah, shaking his hand. And
do I know him? I don't even know who they are.
Then why was he shaking your hand?
Just a second.
I have no idea. He never shook my hand. My hand was broken.
She heard his friend yell, I got your back, when he was hitting me.
I never hit her.
Did you speak to the police?
Did I speak to the police? No. And I never hit her. I don't hit women. The only reason I even got involved is because Chris slammed Sonny into the car, and I thought he was going to start hitting on her, so I hit him off of her. Then we got in the car and we left.
How did you hit him off of her?
How did I hit him off of her? With my right hand, and in the process breaking it.
Broke it on my head.
So you broke your own hand?
I broke my own hand on the side of his head, yes, to hit him off of her.
You broke your own hand hitting him?
Mm-hmm. He was on top of her.
I thought I was a girl. Oh, shoot. Sorry.
Now, it looks to me as if there were a lot of people that were punching at Miss Hoyt.
The only people who were fighting with Miss Hoyt is her.
And me. Yeah. There was no one else that was
involved. Right away. Now, there were 2 people fighting with Miss Hoyt.
No, when we walked out of the bar,
it wasn't at
Colette
the same
was swinging
time.
at her.
No.
Sonny tried to break up the fight, and Colette hit her.
And Shay was standing back, and it was
then
just
they started
me
to
and
proceed to fight, and then
Well,
Chris
why
slammed
didn't
Sonny
you
in the
get in
car.
there? Why didn't you get in there instead of letting your fiancée get in there if there was a fight going on?
Because she was right in front of me. I couldn't stop her. We both walked out.
Sure you
it's a
can.
single door. You know, you can't walk out of a door side by side.
How angry were you at her husband?
When he hit her?
Before.
Not really angry, except for the time when him and his buddies tried to fight me and my friend. That night that Colette kicked her, we were in there playing pool, and him and about 10 of his friends tried to pick a fight with us. We had to be escorted. We had to be escorted out of the bar, made sure we were in our car safe, and then we left.
He's been kicked out of that bar because he beat up an old man.
Now, my next question
I've
to
never
you
been
is,
kicked out of that bar before in my life.
if you were assaulted and you know who assaulted you, why is it that you never prosecuted this case?
I did try to, but the police say that there's, they don't prosecute misdemeanors or they don't investigate misdemeanors in Spokane because they're too overloaded with felonies. And so the police officer asked us to take it to small claims. He didn't even want us to file the report because they don't have enough staff. And so it's what the police officer told us, that there wouldn't be enough.
Your case is dismissed. Now you can leave. You had 10 warnings. Goodbye.
Gotta learn to be quiet.
Broke his own hand, let him take care of it. It's a hothead. Okay. Is there anything else that anybody wants to tell me?
I just think if their injuries were so severe, we have an affidavit here that shows that Chris was down playing in a pool tournament at 9 o'clock the next morning.
I'm not talking about his injuries. I don't think he had any. I mean, he had a couple. He had a scratch on the back of the head. This guy tried to hit him in the head with this hand. He broke his arm. It's good enough.
I'm fine.
Right? Good
I'm
enough.
fine.
Perfect. You can sit down. The question is, who started this fight?
Colette did.
No, you did.
Verbally.
No, you did. You went up to her in the parking lot for absolutely no reason. And I believe that you came in and you hit her. And then all hell broke loose. And then all hell broke loose. And I believe that your old boyfriend over there was still remembering from last month when he made fun of the engagement ring. Because that would be something that one would remember. And so would you. So I'm dismissing your counterclaim. And I'm awarding you, as requested, $2,500 because I've looked at your injuries, and your injuries are, in fact, substantial. That's all.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Smarter than her and skinnier than her, and evidently that just carries on after high school. I just wish it would die and she would just let things be. They got what they deserved. They started everything, and if he's going to hit a girl, then he should have to pay for it.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Ray versus Gallagher. Step forward, please.
46-year-old band manager William Ray is suing a former band member, 23-year-old waiter Michael John Gallagher, for unpaid bail money and attorney fees after Michael was arrested for driving under the influence.
Mr. Ray, you were managing a band. The defendant was one of the band members.
Correct.
According to your complaint, the defendant was arrested for driving while under the influence of alcohol.
Correct.
You bailed him out, provided whatever money was necessary to have him back in the band, right?
Correct.
The band was subsequently disbanded. You want your money.
Correct.
The defendant says that, yes, you laid out money, but that you told him that he was to start paying you back when the band started to make money. The band never made any money, so he doesn't owe you any money. That's your defense.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. How were you arrested? Tell me about this arrest that you had in May of 2000.
I was driving down the road, and I got into an accident. I had been drinking. I paid my dues.
So you were hauled off to jail?
Yes, ma'am.
Who did you call?
I'm not sure. I called my friend Steve, and I called Mr. Ray here.
And Steve didn't have any money?
No.
So then you called
Mr. Ray.
And what did you say when you called him?
I just told him that I was in jail. I really just wanted somebody to talk to. I didn't expect him to get me out or anything. I just wanted somebody to talk to, so I called him.
You wanted somebody just to chat with?
Yes. Well, I was in jail. I was 21 years old and scared out of my mind.
Fine. So you didn't want somebody to come and get you out. You just wanted somebody to talk to.
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Well, as the conversation went on, I did ask him to get me out.
Of course you did. Of course, Mr. Gallagher. And how much was the bail?
I don't know.
How much was the bail, Mr. Ray?
$7,500 bail, $750
Cash.
out of pocket.
Okay. Tell me about hiring the attorney. Who called the attorney?
I have a very close friend I've known for about 21 years.
So the answer is you did?
I did, yes.
Did the attorney tell you what the fee was?
Usually it was $3,000, I believe, and since he was friends with Mr. Ray, he would take care of it for $1,600.
And what did you say?
I said, okay.
Did you pay him any money?
Mr. Ray gave me a check to pay him, yes.
And what did he say when he gave you the check? Look at me. What did he say when he gave you the check?
Don't worry about this. Worry about your singing. We'll take care of this later.
Good. Now, what other expenses did you have, Mr. Ray?
The other money is I gave him my car. I had several cars, and his car was totaled. He got my car, the car that I loaned him, impounded one night, so I had to pay that fees.
How did he get your car impounded?
He called me up and he said that I was driving across the tracks and a hubcap fell off, and as I stopped to check it, the police stopped me, and then we find out he doesn't have a driver's license, or his license has expired. So
Is that right?
Yes, that is right. When I went to the DMV, I have a New Mexico driver's license. When I went to the DMV,
give me a story.
Okay.
How much was it to get the car out of impound?
Car getting out of the impound was $93.
What else?
He had the car approximately 6 to 7 months. Clutch was totally shot. It had a brand
Forget
new
it.
clutch.
That's
when it
your
was in
problem. If you're stupid enough to lend somebody your car for 7 months, somebody who's already had trouble with the car, he's got a DUI. He's a baby, you're not. You take on that responsibility. $2,443 is what you owe him. Why shouldn't you pay him?
I don't feel that I should pay him because he told us he was going to take care of all this stuff for us and start paying us to rehearse. We were there 3 nights a week, sometimes 7 nights a week rehearsing. Most of the time that we were there, he was stoned out of his mind and wasn't even paying attention to the rehearsal.
So why didn't you leave?
I thought...
Just a second. So why didn't you leave?
I didn't leave because I thought this was my opportunity.
Well, then you made a mistake.
Most definitely.
You made a mistake, but you had the opportunity to leave. And if this lawsuit was about your expenses, your living expenses, et cetera, while you were working, I would feel differently about it. These items had to do with your stupidity. A, driving while drunk, having an accident, and then parking across railroad tracks. That has nothing to do with band. That has something to do with stupidity. 2443, judgment for the plaintiff. Ms. Newton, Mr. Downer was a friend of yours?
Yes, ma'am.
There were 4 people traveling in a car. It was your car?
Yes, ma'am.
At some point, Mr. Downer took control of the car, you say without your permission, and he wrecked it.
Yes.
Mr. Downer acknowledges that he took your car. Mr. Downer acknowledges that he took your car without your permission, and Mr. Downer acknowledges that he wrecked the car. So far, correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
His defense is that he took the car because he feared for his safety, and it was the only way to get away from a situation that was dangerous. When did this happen, Miss Newton?
November 17th of 2005. It was about 5 o'clock in the evening.
Who was in the car?
My husband, Craig, was driving. Yes.
Is that him?
And myself was in the passenger front seat, and then Mike Danner and Peggy Thornton were in the back seat of the vehicle.
What happened?
Me, Mike, and Peggy had just got off from work in Plattsburgh, and I gave him rides to work. We all worked together in a factory, and we were cut back to St. Joe and picked up my husband to take him to get his paycheck in Atchison, Kansas. And sometime in between the factory where he works at and going back over the Kansas Bridge into Missouri, where we live at, there was a heated argument about several different things, one of them being an affair that happened between Mike's ex-girlfriend and my husband, and
Mike's
ex-girlfriend.
Ex-girlfriend and your husband.
Yes, and Mike got really excited, kind of upset, agitated, and jumped out of the vehicle on the Mocan Bridge, which is in between Kansas and Missouri. And me and Peggy got him back into the car in the back seat, and he proceeded to start beating on Peggy in the back seat. We tried to get into the back of the vehicle to get him off of Peggy, but both rear doors were locked, and my husband, Craig, he decided to go over the seats at Mike, and there was a struggle or some sort, and then Mike was in the front seat, and the next thing I know, I woke up next to the side of the road because I'd been hit with the car door on the back of my head. When he pulled it into gear, it locked in reverse, so he had to push the button to pull it down into drive to take off with it, and then he proceeded. My husband told me he dragged him a good half a block up the road when he was taking the vehicle. And then he went for help when I was knocked out, and the police come, and 2 farmers came and told me my Jeep was up a half mile up the road, flipped over, and no sign of Mike or Peggy, and they were both in the vehicle when it took off.
When he took off, where was Peggy? Still in the back seat?
Yeah, she was still in the rear.
Stand up. Were you in the car when the car flipped over?
Yes, ma'am.
You were in the back seat of the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Dana was driving the car, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Prior to Mr. Dana driving the car, was he sitting in the back passenger seat next to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he go over the front seat?
Yes, ma'am.
When he took off, did you say anything to him?
Yes, ma'am. I said to please stop or slow down.
You yelled?
I yelled.
Did he answer you?
No.
While he was sitting in the back seat of the car next to you, did he hit you?
Yes, ma'am.
How many times?
At least 3.
I never did. You may be seated. I'm very effective.
I know.
So no matter how much rehearsing you did, it doesn't help.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? Now, Mr. Dana, you're going to explain to me your answer, which quite frankly I found slightly convoluted, why you are not responsible to the damage to Miss Newton's car. So far, let me tell you what we know to be the fact. You were driving this car. You took it without permission. You took it after you were assaulting your girlfriend. You did not get out of the car. You jumped over the front seat. You were driving too fast because that's what she says.
I never assaulted her, though.
Your Honor,
Is she still your girlfriend?
Yeah.
You think that this lady would say that you hit her when you didn't hit her?
She was drunk. That's one thing we left out. We was all drunk.
She may be drunk. Then she would say to me, I don't remember him hitting me. Mr. Dana, she would say, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But your girlfriend, with whom you probably slept last night, is not going to tell me, a perfect stranger, that you hit her at least 3 times when you didn't. Do you understand?
Maybe I was drunk and I don't remember.
Oh, that's perfect. That I like. Were you drunk?
Oh, yeah. We was drunk.
You were drunk?
Yeah.
So you had no business driving the car?
Nope, we shouldn't. None of us should have never been driving. It never would have happened.
Unfortunately, Mr. Dana, nobody was driving the car except you when it flipped over.
No, we was drunk when we got off work.
Listen to me very carefully, Mr. Dana. You had the misfortune of being behind the wheel, driving too fast when the car flipped over. Now, on November 17th, if I were a drinking person, I might have been drunk. If Bird were a drinking person, he might have been drunk. But that wouldn't have made any difference because we weren't driving the car.
Exactly. So
You would listen to
I
me.
wouldn't be driving with you, if you was drunk. Would you get in a car with me and drive if I was drunk right now?
What did he say?
Would you get in a car and drive with me if I was drunk right now, knowing I was drunk? Would you get in a car and drive with me?
Listen to me, sir.
I'm listening to you.
No, you're not. I think maybe it'll be helpful if you take your hands out of your pockets.
Yes, ma'am.
And uncross them. Hands at your sides. You chose to get into the car with the plaintiff and her husband. If they were all drinking and you got into the car with them, that's your choice. If the car had flipped over with her driving the car and she was drunk and you were hurt, she would have been responsible for your injuries. Do you understand?
So they should be responsible for my girlfriend's injuries. When I was driving, their insurance should be.
What law school did you graduate from, Mr. Danner?
Missouri Department of Corrections.
As an inmate?
Yeah.
There you go. People who graduate from prison law school, sir, very rarely get to the Supreme Court. In the history of this nation, nobody has ever made it to the Supreme Court who's a graduate of prison law school. So why don't you stop being a wise guy and just listen? Because I guarantee you, in this little discourse that we're having, you're not going to win. Now, I want you in 30 seconds or less tell me why you're not responsible for the damage to Miss Newton's car.
For one, I was in fear of my life because her husband was beating me up once, and he told me he was going to beat me up again. And she jumped out of a Jeep with a billy club, so I took off, and basically that's it. And we should have never been drinking and driving. Nobody should be drinking and driving a vehicle.
That's your defense?
Yeah, that's my defense.
Can I see the estimate on the damage, please? What an idiot.
Your Honor, there's one here that has a list of labor and parts from the dealer, and then the other one's just a printout of just the parts, which is what we were asking for.
How long has he been your boyfriend?
Almost a year.
You have children?
No.
Perfect. You have photographs of the car?
Yeah.
I'd like to see them, please.
I have also this one. If you want to give her that one, it's off. Okay.
They going to be able to fix this car?
Yeah, we've already started on it, Your Honor, out of our own pocket expense, just because that's my only means of transportation.
Is the limit in your small claims court $3,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that why you're only suing for $3,000?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can't, Miss Newton, pick your relatives. You can, however, pick your friends.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes life gives us an advantage, and we're able to, despite the fact that we're stuck with relatives, we can get rid of them if they are not a positive part of our lives, right?
Yeah.
But it's certainly much easier to do with friends.
Yeah.
Right? I suggest you slough off this group. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. That's all. Miss Willis, are you a working lady?
Yes, I am.
What kind of work do you do?
I work for the Department of Defense, United States Air Force, as a tool and parts attendant.
How long have you been doing that?
18 years.
What about you, Mr. Hunter? What kind of work do you do?
I'm an electrician. I also work on Tinker Air Force Base.
Miss Willis, you don't make a whole bunch of money, do you?
No.
I'm going to give you and anybody else out there who wants to listen some very good advice. Never, never get somebody a credit card. Children, brothers, sisters, friends, don't ever give somebody a credit card, which is what you did. You gave Mr. Hunter, who was then your daughter's boyfriend, a credit card. Put your hands off your hips. Ostensibly, to help him build up his credit. You did that in 2003 while they were still together. Mr. Hunter proceeded to use the credit card. I gather from your statement that you did not use this credit card at all. Is that right?
Yes, I did use the credit card.
Well, do you expect me to go through 3 years' worth of statements to see what he purchased and what you purchased?
No, I have the statements, but it was only for 3 months.
He only made purchases for 3 months?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll take a look at it. And then you say he made payments sporadically, then he stopped making payments 2004. He and your daughter broke up. He asked you to extend him a little bit of time because you were going on trial, sir. Is that right, for a felony?
No, I paid her.
Were you going on
payments.
trial for a felony?
Yes.
And according to the plaintiff, she said, fine, we'll wait until the trial is over, because she had those expenses. You were tried and I assume acquitted, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then she expected you to continue to make the payments on the credit card.
Your Honor, he was convicted of his charges.
I was not convicted, Your Honor.
If he was convicted, he probably wouldn't be here today. This was a serious felony, according to you.
Which has nothing to do with the case.
Well, it has to do with your veracity, sir, and whether or not you could stand there and lie to me.
Okay.
That's what it has to do with. I mean, it is an issue. And notice I was very careful not to get into the particulars of the case because it is particularly sensitive. And if you were, in fact, acquitted, I certainly didn't want to reveal the nature of the charges. But if what you're telling me is that it really has nothing to do with it, now I'm going to see a statement that you have that would indicate that this young man told me a lie. Sir, it says here that you pled guilty.
To a deferred sentence.
To what?
It was a deferred sentence.
Didn't ask you what the sentence was. You weren't acquitted. It said here you pled guilty. That's not acquitted.
It's acquitted.
No, it isn't. And you know it.
Well, it is acquitted after a period of time. It's 5 years.
Now, the state recommends 5 years deferred until 1/23/11, unsupervised probation. You were fines and costs. The court accepts the plea recommendation.
I accept, but what I'm saying is, after that 5 years, it goes away, so it's acquitted, basically.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
No, sir.
That's what I was
You were
told.
found guilty, and you were found guilty by your own plea of guilty. The sentence was deferred. You had a deferred sentence for 5 years. Who was the complainant in that case?
The state.
Okay, now, according to your complaint, you gave him a period of time where he didn't have to pay on this credit card because he was on trial for this very serious felony. And he asked you for a little bit of latitude because he had expenses. Did you pay your lawyer?
Yes, I did. And then she had a problem with my character before. She should have did an OCN check on me before I dated her daughter or came near anything near your house.
Don't speak to her.
The fact
Don't
that
speak
she
to her.
brings it up now is irrelevant.
Now, the charges, sir, are not necessarily relevant to this proceeding. The fact that you lied to me when you said you were acquitted of those charges is in fact relevant because you told me you were acquitted of those charges with the same look on your face as you were answering all my other questions, so I believed you. And unless she had the court documents which indicate that you were found guilty of those charges and only sentence was deferred and you were found guilty by virtue of your own plea, and you had a lawyer from the very beginning advise you, a lawyer who you paid, so the lawyer told you that by pleading guilty you would be found guilty. And the only thing that was being deferred was the sentence, if in fact you paid fines.
Yeah, it's been paid. It paid off. Paid that off.
Well, and that's why you asked her for a little time so that she would have to cover these bills that were on the credit card. That's her statement. Now I believe her.
I was acquitted of the charges, the original charges. What I was guilty for were different charges.
Sir, you keep insisting. Notice, I did not say what the charge was. What did you plead guilty to?
To using a computer to break an Oklahoma statue. That's what I was charged for.
You're a fancy dancer, sir. You were originally charged with rape. What did you plead guilty to?
No guilt, not guilty. I wasn't.
What did you plead guilty to? Using a computer? Is that what you're telling me? On a rape charge, you pled guilty to using a computer?
No, I didn't. I was not guilty for that. And that's why there was no witnesses in that. There was nothing. So there was the witnesses wouldn't. The witnesses for the witness of the girl wouldn't show up.
Would you show this to him, please? Tell him to look at the highlighted charges.
This is sick.
Are you contesting any of those charges, sir?
No, ma'am.
$4,735. Now, how much did you repay her?
I paid her for what I felt was reasonable to what I felt I owed her.
How much did you pay her?
I paid her over $700-something.
Let's say you paid her $700, sir.
Okay.
And some of this was back 2 years.
Can I explain? There was over $4,000 in charges.
No, there were $4,735 in charges, and that's without any interest. So if you hadn't paid all of this amount, it's probably close to $6,000 or more that you owe her. Now explain to me, if you paid her $700, that would bring the total down to $5,300.
Well,
Explain the rest.
I did date her daughter for a long period of time. I spent a lot of time out at their house. I did a lot of work because I was unemployed off and on. So her mom gave me duties such as yard work. They had lived on property. I built computers for her. I did computer service work for her. I filmed and taped an older daughter of hers, her wedding. I edited it, made DVDs for it. A lot of work, and I never got paid for it. And the money I should have been paid for that, I would have been making my credit card payments with that money, but she never paid me. So I used the credit card as payment. I never got paid for anything. She thinks she can feed me peanuts.
Is this your husband? Yeah. Good luck to you. Your parents like him?
Yes.
Yeah, I doubt that. I doubt that a whole bunch. You have children?
Yes.
With him?
Yes.
How many?
2.
Great. Judging for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. Good luck to you. Consider yourself and your daughter very, very lucky. That's all.